Chapter 2492 2492-2492 Celestial Dynasty was destroyed. It's the Dragon King. Aochitian roared and stared at the great ancestor of the Easternly Celestial Dynasty, his eyes full of killing intent. Boom! He moved and charged toward the great ancestor of the Easternly Celestial Dynasty with an invincible momentum. Dragon Palace, I will fight you to the death. Seeing that almost all the soldiers of the Easternly Celestial Dynasty were killed, the great ancestor of the Easternly Celestial Dynasty roared crazily. The entire Easternly Dynasty was their blood and sweat. It was the place where he had lived his whole life. He only had a lifespan of over 10,000 years, but when he saw his dynasty being destroyed, he was determined to die. He attacked Ao Crab and the others crazily. Before he died, he wanted to kill one of them. Hiss! The Easternly Dynasty is completely finished. The great ancestor of the Easternly Dynasty is ready to risk his life. This must be the full strength of the Dragon Palace. The Dragon King stood there and did not make a move during the entire battle. He stood high up in the sky and looked down at everything. The Dragon Palace is much more powerful than the Easternly Dynasty. Did you notice that no one from the Dragon Palace died? It's too terrifying. The surrounding forces looked at the final battle in the sky in shock. Today's battle, the old king fell, the new king rose. Some people muttered, "Ha, we killed 5. At this time, laughter resounded from the front. Everyone looked over, looking at the youth, Invincible in his battle techniques. Boss Invincible, do you have to be so heaven-defying? He's about the same age as us, and he's actually an undying god king now, and he even has an undying level 2 battle pet. Invincible's ability to reach the undying emperor realm is definitely all thanks to the Dragon King. Invincible's luck is simply too good. An undying emperor who's less than 1,000 years old, that Invincible will probably become a top warrior of the resplendent world in the future. In the surrounding area, a few youths from the powers looked at Invincible's battle skills, their faces filled with envy as they discussed. Not long ago, they were friends who drank together. Back then, even though their invincible battle techniques were monstrous, they weren't as terrifying as they were now. Now that they were at the God Emperor realm, in their region, they were already top-level warriors. An undying that's not even 1,000 years old, it's unbelievable, the future is limitless. The undying emperor warriors around all looked at him, their eyes filled with shock. In the future, invincible battle techniques might reach a stage that would shock everyone. Ha! Feeling the gazes around him, Invincible battle techniques raised his head slightly and came to Wang Xian's side. How is it, Boss Wang? Am I strong? If you didn't ask Leader Ao to make a move, I would have been able to kill at least a dozen undying godly monarchs today. Haha, from today onwards, my invincible battle technique will shake the entire universe. In this region, I am the only one. Invincible battle technique roared arrogantly. Just as he said, he was an undying level 1, along with an undying level 2 battle pet. He was very strong. Most importantly, invincible battle technique was the Dragon Palace Dragon King's underling, who would dare to provoke him. After today, Wang Xian could already imagine that the leaders of the fourth-rate forces would have to be polite and respectful to him. After all, he had a good boss. Ha! Stop showing off and train hard. Your bloodline is very strong. Maybe you can live up to your name. Wang Xian patted his shoulder and said with a smile, "Hee, if you follow Boss Wang, you will definitely be invincible in the future." He said flatteringly. Okay. Wang Xian smiled faintly and swept his gaze across the sky. Ao Chicken, Ao Crab, and the rest were engaged in a battle with the great ancestor of the Easternly Celestial Dynasty. Below, all the soldiers of the Easternly Celestial Dynasty were being cleaned up quickly. They would be done in a few minutes at most. A group of powerhouses from the Dragon Palace had already arrived at the position behind him. Wang Xian's gaze slowly landed on the position in front of him. This is bad. When he looked over, the expressions of the 2 deputy alliance leaders of the Iron Blood Alliance changed slightly. They had a bad premonition in their hearts. Everyone from the Iron Blood Alliance, come over. Wang Xian stared at them and said indifferently, "This?" The two deputy chiefs of the Iron Blood Alliance looked at each other with an extremely ugly expression. At this moment, they really wanted to escape. However, there were a total of 8 people who had their eyes locked on them. 8 Immortal King Level 3 powerhouses were locked on them. If they dared to make any move, they would definitely be surrounded and attacked instantly. 1 against 4, there was no way for them to escape. With an ugly expression, the two of them led 7 to 8 of their subordinates and flew towards Wang Xian. Dragon King. The two of them flew over and cupped their fists nervously. This is the people from the Iron Blood Alliance. The Dragon King of the Dragon Palace and the rest seemed to be indebted to the Iron Blood Alliance. However, why did they suddenly go back on their words just now? I wonder, what is the relationship between the Dragon Palace and the Iron Blood Alliance? Some of them noticed the situation and looked over with puzzled faces. Why did the Dragon Palace owe the Iron Blood Alliance a favor? Wang Xian looked at them and asked expressionlessly, "Dragon King, our Iron Blood Alliance was attacked by the Beast Tide at the Lualman Desolate Beast Park. The Dragon King and the Dragon Palace helped us reduce our losses by a lot." The two deputy chiefs gritted their teeth and replied, "I don't expect anything in return for helping you. Please give me an explanation for what happened just now." Wang Xian's body slowly emitted a hint of dragon might as he stared at them with a sharp gaze. "Dragon King, we just received a message from the Eastly Immortal Dynasty. Do you really think that I didn't know that you sent a voice transmission to the Eastly Immortal Dynasty?" A deputy chief spoke but was interrupted coldly by Wang Xian. "I hate ungrateful people the most. I can help your Iron Blood Alliance and destroy your Iron Blood Alliance." Wang Xian stared at them and spoke with a murderous look. His words caused the expressions of the people from the Iron Blood Alliance to change drastically. Now that they had seen the full power of the Dragon Palace, even if this power could not destroy their Iron Blood Alliance, it could still bring them a huge disaster. One had to know that they still had the huge threat of the Lualman Desolate Beast Park. Even if they had the help of the Blazing Flame Divine Empire, but the power of the Dragon King had already exceeded their expectations. "Dragon King, we don't have..." Boom, boom, boom. They wanted to warn him, but at this moment, terrifying attacks came from all directions and covered them. Soul capture. At the same time, Wang Xian extended his palm and attacked one of the deputy chiefs. No! The people from the Iron Blood Alliance who were attacked by the devouring dragons had no chance to resist. The terrifying power landed on them. But Wang Xian grabbed with his palm and a stream of information entered his mind. Chapter 2493. 2493 Dragon Palace. The members of the Iron Blood Alliance have been killed. The Dragon Palace has done the Iron Blood Alliance a favor, but now, the Iron Blood Alliance seems to have repaid their kindness with enmity. Now that the Dragon King knows about it, it's only right for them to be killed. The battle in front of the Eastly Dynasty's Divine Palace had come to an end. Everyone looked forward. Over there, the experts of the Dragon Palace had killed the members of the Iron Blood Alliance. After today, I think the Dragon Palace will be the overlord of this place. Some powerhouses from some factions mumbled. They looked at the Dragon King with reverence. But at this moment, Wang Xian, who had absorbed the memories of a deputy alliance leader, waved his arm and took the communication stone plates from them. He waved his arm and opened the communication stone plates to read the contents. Blazing Flame Empire, I don't think I have offended anyone from the Blazing Flame Empire. Why are they trying to kill me? Wang Xian mumbled softly. Following that, a hint of violent killing intent flashed in his eyes. Back then, he had led the members of the Dragon Palace to help the Iron Blood Alliance to fend off the Beast Tide. Although he had his own selfish motives, he had helped the Iron Blood Alliance to tide over a dangerous situation. Now, they actually wanted to kill him. To repay kindness with enmity. Wang Xian was extremely furious at the actions of the Iron Blood Alliance. He hated people who repaid kindness with enmity the most. The Iron Blood Alliance, huh? I will make you pay the price. He slowly raised his head and looked at the corpse in front of him. Die, 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 die. At this moment, an incomparably violent roar came from the sky. He looked over. In the sky, the great ancestor of the Eastern Li dynasty was fully prepared to die. He was desperately trying to drag a member of the Dragon Palace into the water. Some cracks had already appeared in the surrounding black holes that disturbed the space. The great ancestor of the Eastern Li dynasty did not think of escaping. Instead, he was going to fight to the death. However, with 2 devouring dragons and a berserk dragon seed, Ao Qitian and Ao Xie were not to be trifled with. As divine dragon seeds, they did not show any signs of panic in the face of his desperate efforts. The 3 of them did not have any injuries on their bodies. On the contrary, the body of the great ancestor of the Eastern Li Celestial Empire was already in tatters. It was only a matter of time before the great ancestor of the Eastern Li Celestial Empire fell. Clean up everything. Wang Xian ordered Prime Minister Gurei. It's the Dragon King. The Dragon Palace didn't use all their strength this time, but the rewards this time would be terrifying. Just the undying emperor corpses alone had reached about 60. Among them, there were a total of 12 undying emperor level 3 corpses. These 12 undying god countries with undying emperor level 3 corpses could add 6 undying emperor level 5 warriors to the devouring dragon. And these 12 corpses could also increase the Dragon Palace's strength by 2 to 3 level 5 undying god king members. The rest of the corpses and the Eastli dynasty's assets were enough to make a huge difference in the Dragon Palace's strength. After all, the entire Eastli dynasty had stood in this starry sky for over 10 million years. Their foundations were extremely deep. These resources could bring a huge boost to the Dragon Palace. Other than that, there were also the few forces that were courting death from the Ling Tian sect of the Snow sect. They could also bring a lot of resources to the Dragon Palace. There are also more than 20 immortal God King battle pets. Wang Xian looked at the battle pets lying on the ground. The corner of his mouth curled up slightly. After circling around, the battle pets returned to him. My Eastli immortal dynasty has stood for millions of years. I am not willing to let it be destroyed by me. I am not willing. In the sky, a miserable voice filled with endless unwillingness rang out. The great ancestor of the Eastli immortal dynasty is going to die. He is going to be killed. The Eastli immortal dynasty is completely finished. Everyone around looked at the battlefield. Their hearts trembled slightly and their faces were filled with shock. Bang! Bang, bang, bang. Loud bangs rang out one after another. It lasted for a full minute. After a minute, the entire sky was completely silent. A corpse was falling downwards. In the middle, the great ancestor of the Eastern Li Celestial Empire did not let out a single cry of pain. If one had the will to die, one would be courting death. Wang Xian looked at the corpse coldly. The Dragon Palace had always upheld the principle of not provoking others. However, if someone wanted to kill him, they would have to suffer 10 times and 100 times the Dragon Palace's revenge. Gulp. Seeing nearly 60 immortal godly monarchs fall and a level 4 immortal godly monarch fall, everyone couldn't help but gulp. Greetings, Dragon King. Congratulations, Dragon King, for a complete victory. Greetings, Dragon King. Congratulations, Dragon King, for a complete victory. In the surrounding area, the Overlord Sect's sect master hesitated for a moment before looking at the Heavenly Law Sect's sect master. The two of them looked at each other before taking a step forward and congratulating each other. Greetings, Dragon King. Congratulations, Dragon King, for a complete victory. The group of Overlord Sect and Heavenly Law Sect's powerful disciples immediately took a few steps forward as they respectfully cupped their hands and greeted. Greetings, Dragon King. Congratulations, Dragon King, for a complete victory. The other leaders of the forces saw this scene and quickly led their disciples to bow loudly. The current Dragon Palace was a throne built on the corpses of the Eastly Undying Dynasty. They didn't even dare to resist the Eastly Undying Dynasty, much less the current Dragon Palace. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that the Dragon Palace's strength could destroy all the forces present. Even if all the factions were added together, there were thousands of immortal kings. Alright, you guys can leave first. When the Dragon Palace holds the War Pet Auction again soon, everyone will gather again. At that time, our Dragon Palace will have something to discuss with you. Wang Xian waved his hand at the people from all the factions around him and said indifferently, "It's the Dragon King." The group of factions nodded immediately. When they saw the formation disappear, they took a deep look and left immediately. Invincible, we have settled everything. Let's return to the Overlord sect. The Overlord sect leader hesitated for a moment and said to Invincible Battle Technique, "It's Master." Invincible Battle Technique smiled and nodded. He raised his head slightly and looked at the experts from the Overlord sect. The current him could be said to have soared into the sky. The Invincible in the past may have been monstrous, with the Overlord clan backing him and an Undying God King level 3 master. But now, without relying on his background and strength, he could be ranked first in this region. In terms of background? Sorry, my boss is Dragon King. Invincible was very proud of himself at this moment. Dragon King, I have already sent people to all the planets under the control of the Eastly Celestial Empire. We will soon take over the East Lake planet, the largest wealth of the Eastly Celestial Empire. At this moment, Prime Minister Gui walked over and said to Wang Xian with a smile on his face, "Ichim, you can handle this matter. I will bring a few members to their immortal divine kingdom." Wang Xian nodded at Prime Minister Gui. He could rest assured that Prime Minister Gui would do a better job than him. In addition, he wanted to find out the immortal god country of these 60 immortal god kings through the formation. Chapter 2494. 2494-2494 Dragon Palace. The Eastly Dynasty's Hedian, the Dragon Palace sent gifts of war and destruction. The Eastly Undying Dynasty was completely destroyed. Shocking, the Eastly Undying Dynasty was destroyed. The Dragon Palace Dragon King led a group of warriors and easily swept through the entire Eastly Dynasty. The Dragon Palace's strength is too terrifying. 3 Undying Level 4 warriors, over 10 Undying Level 3 warriors. The Eastly Undying Dynasty didn't even have the strength to resist. Just when everyone thought that the Eastly Dynasty didn't care about the Dragon Palace, just when everyone thought that the Dragon Palace wasn't as good as the Eastly Dynasty, the Dragon Emperor led his men to destroy the entire Eastly Dynasty. The Dragon Emperor led 60 to 70 Undyings this time, easily destroying the entire Eastly Dynasty. Close to 60 Undyings fell. After the destruction of the Eastly Dynasty, all the powerful warriors left with their disciples. In less than half an hour, news about the entire Eastly Dynasty's Hedian spread throughout the AI. Today's battle shocked everyone. The Dragon Palace that no one thought highly of had actually stepped into the Eastly Dynasty's Hedian and killed everyone. The Eastly Dynasty didn't even have the strength to resist. When the news spread out, it shook the entire region. Everyone looked at the contents in disbelief. 3 Undying Level 4 warriors from the Dragon Palace, over 10 Undying Level 3 warriors. Such a terrifying power, it shocked everyone. There were even some who recorded the battle. The recording wasn't clear, but the battle of the Eternal God Lord was clear. The 100,000 troops of the Dragon Palace, the weaker ones had the strength of an Eternal God Lord level 3. They single-handedly slaughtered the strongest army of the East Li Undying Empire. Looking at the images and the news, everyone was shocked. This region, the Dragon King will be the leader in the future. The East Lake planet will soon be under the control of the Dragon Palace. The power of the Dragon Palace is simply too strong. We have to change the overlord of this region. Some warriors looked at the information, muttering to themselves. An undying less than 1,000 years old has been born, a heaven-defying existence, invincible in his battle techniques. Overlord sect leader's disciple, the little brother of the Dragon King's invincible battle techniques has reached the Undying Emperor realm. He's only less than 1,000 years old. This is unbelievable, an Undying Emperor who's not even 1,000 years old, and the Dragon King's level 2 battle pet. It's too terrifying. This time, not only is the Dragon Palace famous, that invincible battle technique will be famous too. Reaching the Undying Emperor realm before 1,000 years old, this talent, even in our resplendent region and thousands of worlds, there's not a single one. Absolute geniuses, even the disciples of the large sects and even the pinnacle powers don't have invincible warriors. Other than the Dragon Palace destroying the Eastly Undying Emperor dynasty that shocked everyone, there was another thing that shocked everyone. Invincible warrior reached the Undying Emperor realm before 1,000 years old. Such monstrous talent, it shocked everyone. Emperor's talent. These 4 words were said out of nowhere. Following that, more and more people said that Invincible in battle techniques had Emperor's talent. What was Emperor's talent meant that one had the potential to become a Void God Emperor. And Void God Emperor was a top expert in this resplendent land, the greater world. There were only a few Void God Emperors in this entire region. One could imagine how shocked people were at being invincible in combat techniques. Some people said that with the Overlord sect's strength, they could not nurture such a monstrous existence like the Invincible in combat techniques. Only with the help of the Dragon King would the Invincible in combat techniques be so strong. The Invincible in combat techniques had become an Undying God King at such a young age. Some people guessed that the Dragon King's appearance was so young, and his true age might not be that old. The entire AI was discussing this battle. Over 1 trillion people were discussing it. This battle was akin to an earthquake in space. Dad, Mom, look, brother's information. He actually broke through to Undying Emperor. In the Tianzhe continent, Invincible's sister ran to her parents in disbelief, staring wide-eyed as she shouted. This, what the ancestor said is true. Invincible has actually broken through to Undying. Invincible's mother's gaze was a little dazed, following which she said excitedly, Dad, Mom, you already know? Now everyone is powerful. The Dragon King has destroyed the Eastly Undying dynasty, and the Dragon Palace is the king of our region. From now on, with the Dragon King's protection, you can do whatever you want. No, from now on, I want to hug my brother's legs. I want him to get me an Undying Emperor mount. Jean Fétion May pouted, her face filled with envy. The Dragon Palace destroyed the Eastly Undying dynasty? Give me the AI, let me take a look. Jean Fa Invincible's father was shocked. He had already said that Invincible had become an Undying Emperor, but he really didn't know that the Dragon Palace had destroyed the Eastly dynasty. The crisis in the Tianzhe continent had already been resolved, but the AI that covered the entire Emperor Star field had yet to spread. On Star Source Planet, the overlords and heavenly technique disciples who had received the news were also shocked. When Lung Yu heard the news, her face was filled with disbelief. A few months ago, the Dragon Emperor's strength hadn't even reached Undying God Emperor, and he was still being chased by the Star Beast Tower disciples. Now, the Dragon Palace had become the overlord of this region. It was too fast. In the next few days, the entire region was filled with information about the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace and his invincible battle techniques. Some people cheered for the Dragon Palace's destruction of the Eastly dynasty, while others were worried. The birth of a new king required new rules after all. Wang Xian was very busy these few days. He had to deal with all sorts of matters and build the Dragon Palaces on each planet. He didn't even have the time to look at the information on the AI. He had to search for the immortal divine kingdom of the experts from the Eastly dynasty. He had to take over the life planets occupied by the Eastly dynasty and build the Dragon Palaces in the ocean. There were some things that Prime Minister Gue couldn't handle. He had to do it himself. The Eastly dynasty and the other 3 forces controlled about 200 life planets. He would occupy all of them and build one Dragon Palace after another. Wang Xian had obtained many rewards from the system for the establishment of the Dragon Palace. Among them, the reward that excited him the most was the Imperial Dragon Seed. The Imperial Dragon Seed was the strongest defensive dragon seed known to the Dragon Palace. It had 3 attributes of earth, metal, and wood. Their combat strength was not considered very strong, but they were indeed the strongest shields among the dragon seeds. When the Imperial Dragon Seed defended itself, even the Berserk Dragon Seed would find it difficult to defeat it. Of course, the Imperial Dragon Seed couldn't defeat the Mad Dragon Seed either. The appearance of the Imperial Dragon Seed improved the overall defense of the Dragon Palace a lot. Although the Saturn Turtles had good defense in the past, they were only the most ordinary dragon seed. Now, after they evolved into the Imperial Dragon Seed, their defense had undergone a shocking transformation. Chapter 2495. 2495 was upgraded. Miss. In the East Lake Planet's Black Forest Divine Mansion, there was a bamboo forest surrounding it. The Imperial Star Lady was cultivating in a room. The elder walked in and called out softly, "Old Boo, what's the matter?" Auntie Ing appeared and asked the elder, "Butler Ing, look at the AI. Something big has happened in this area." The old man in cloth clothes immediately said to Auntie Ing, "Oh." Auntie Ing raised her eyebrows and immediately turned on the AI. "Huh." When he saw the incident that was discussed on the AI, a shocked expression appeared on his face. "Auntie Ing, what happened?" At this moment, Imperial Star Lady walked out of the room and asked her, "Miss, look." Auntie Ing showed the incident on the AI in front of her in slight astonishment. "HM? This? How did that guy have such powerful strength?" Emperor Star Lady looked at the information on the Dragon Palace, her mouth slightly agape. "This Dragon King is a little mysterious, he has quite a bit of power. It would be better if the Dragon Palace destroyed the Eastleigh dynasty, but that little brother of his has invincible battle techniques, reaching the undying God King realm at less than 1,000 years old, that's a little terrifying." At such an age, even in the entire Emperor Star field, it's shocking news, and now he's being called an emperor. Aunt Ing said in shock. "An undying emperor that's only 1,000 years old, this. What kind of opportunity did he get to reach it?" The Emperor Star Lady opened her mouth slightly, her eyes filled with envy. Such talent in their imperial court was unprecedented. "Miss, old Bu said that when we captured the space beast back then, he sensed that the Dragon King was only at Undying Level 2, and now he's at Undying Level 3. And I've checked the Dragon King's information recently, he only appeared in Tianzhe continent a few months ago, back then he was at most at Undying Level 4 or 5. Aunt Ing said slowly. "How is that possible? Aunt Ing, is it possible that the Dragon King was resurrected after the fall of a powerhouse?" The Imperial Star Lady widened her eyes and asked with a face full of shock. "It's possible." Aunt Ing nodded slightly. "Miss, if we can get the Dragon King to help us, it will be very beneficial to you in the future." After hesitating for a moment, Aunt Ing opened her mouth and said, But will that guy agree?" The Emperor Star Lady's expression changed. "There's no rush. There's still 2 years left." Aunt Ing said softly. The Emperor Star Lady looked at the picture of the Dragon King on the artificial intelligence system with some complicated feelings in her heart. This guy was getting more and more powerful. Something has happened. Alliance Master, 3 Patriarchs, 2 of our Deputy Alliance Masters have been killed by the Dragon King. Quick, look at the information on the artificial intelligence system. At this moment, at the Ironblood Alliance's headquarters. Due to the obstruction of the information, it took them several days to obtain all the information there. An expert from the Ironblood Alliance carried AI and entered the main hall to report with an unsightly expression. "Elder Duan, we've just received this information." In the main hall, the 3 Patriarchs and the Ironblood Alliance Master sat there with gloomy expressions. On both sides, there were the 5 warriors of the Raging Flame God Dynasty and the Raging Flame God Dynasty Emperor. The Dragon King already knows that we are going to make a move on him, and he said it on the spot. He will make our Iron Blood Alliance pay the price. The Iron Blood Alliance leader's face was almost bleeding. The Dragon Palace's strength had brought them too much shock. 3 Undying Level 4 warriors and over 10 Undying Level 3 warriors, this power was much more powerful than even their Iron Blood Alliance. Now, the Dragon King was looking for trouble with them, and with the threat of the Lorman Desolate Beast Garden in front of them, they were adding insult to injury. Members of the Raging Flame Empire, you have all seen the situation. We have already offended the Dragon Palace Dragon King because of you. With our Iron Blood Alliance's strength, there's no way we can destroy the Dragon King. An ancestor looked at the members of the Raging Flame Divine Dynasty with a gloomy face and roared in a low voice. If they had known that the Dragon King had such strength, they would definitely not have agreed. However, it was too late now. We will immediately report this matter to our Raging Flame Divine Emperor. The members of the Raging Flame Divine Dynasty also frowned. They thought that destroying the Dragon King would be a piece of cake. However, they didn't expect that with the Dragon Palace's current strength, it was already considered a third-rate force. This force, even if the Raging Flame Empire wanted to deal with it, they had to make preparations. After all, their Raging Flame Undying Empire was also a third-rate force. However, it was only a peak third-rate force, with several Undying Level 5 warriors. Our Iron Blood Alliance will fully cooperate with your Raging Flame Empire, but we hope that you can keep your promise. The Iron Blood Alliance members said with grim faces. Everyone, don't worry. Wait for a moment. The Raging Flame Divine Empire nodded to everyone. Our young master can allow 5 outstanding heavens-favored disciples of your Raging Flame Divine Empire to enter the Imperial Court Academy. Everything that happens after that will depend on themselves. Yes. Sir, please thank young master on our behalf. Our Raging Flame Divine Empire will definitely do our best to eliminate that Dragon King. Please rest assured, young master. In the starry sky opposite the Iron Blood Alliance's Lorman Desolate Beast Park, an old man with flames all over his body stood respectfully in front of an image as he spoke with an excited expression. The moment he finished speaking, the figure in front of the image immediately disappeared. Phew, 5 spots to eliminate a third-rate force. It's worth it. Men, go and call the 2 nation-guarding generals over. The old man whose body was covered in flames immediately ordered. A piece of good news has come from our Raging Flame Dynasty. Very soon, at the Iron Blood Alliance, an expert from the Raging Flame Dynasty looked at the news with a faint smile on his face. Yes, gentlemen, what's the news? The Iron Blood Alliance master hurriedly asked. Our Raging Flame Dynasty will send 2 Defender Generals over. When the time comes, you can just follow the orders of our Defender Generals. The warrior from the Raging Flame Empire said indifferently. 2 generals. The members of the Iron Blood Alliance were shocked, their faces filled with joy. With the general of the Raging Flame Undying Empire making a move, killing that Dragon King will be a piece of cake. The members of the Iron Blood Alliance were all excited. The general, an Undying Level 5 warrior, was in charge of the Raging Flame Empire, intimidating everyone. With their arrival, they could also help the Iron Blood Alliance to deal with some threats from the Lorman Desolate Beast Park. Wang Xian did not pay any attention to the shock from the outside world, the boiling in his brain, or the situation on the Iron Blood Alliance's side. Wang Xian, who had been busy for a few days, finally relaxed. Looking at the various resources in front of him, an excited look appeared on his face. He originally thought that he needed to capture the Immortal King Level 3 battle pet for his advancement. However, this time, the accumulation of the Eastly Dynasty and the Snow Sect's 3 forces was enough for Wang Xian to advance by 1 level. Chapter 2496 2496 2496 Overall Improvement. Wang Xian's improvement had always been the one that consumed the most resources. The rapid improvement recently was all due to the sale of tamed war pets. After destroying the Eastly Immortal Dynasty, they had plundered more than 60 Immortal Emperors' immortal empire. They had obtained a terrifying amount of resources from it. The resources that a faction had did not include the resources that the Immortal King alone had. Which Immortal King did not have some treasures? There were more than 60 Immortal Kings, and one of them was an Immortal King level for existence. Their treasures could totally upgrade the Dragon Palace. Looking at the pile of treasures in front of him, Wang Xian was ready to break through his strength immediately. Once he broke through, he would have the combat strength of a level 4 Immortal King. When he mastered the black hole space-disturbing formation, he would be able to destroy a level 4 Immortal King powerhouse. Dragon King, our Dragon Palace has taken over more than 100 planets. East Lake Planet has also become our Dragon Palace's commercial planet. This is some information regarding the future development path of the Dragon Palace and the fixed resources currently controlled by the Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Gui sat over and handed Wang Xian a set of information. Okay. Wang Xian nodded his head and took it over to have a look. More than 100 life planets. This was a huge amount of wealth. Controlling this planet meant controlling the tax revenue of this planet. The tax revenue was extremely terrifying. Other than that, the planet owned some industries that could monopolize the planet. Once it was monopolized, it would be another terrifying gain. Of course, these gains were not bad for the Dragon Palace. The most important thing for the Dragon Palace was the East Lake Planet. The East Lake Planet was a commercial planet. According to Prime Minister Gui's analysis, the profits from the East Lake Planet in a day could increase the Dragon Palace by 3 eternal God Lords. What a terrifying thing. In addition to the Dragon Palace's fixed assets, Prime Minister Gui had also formulated some development plans. For example, in this area, more than 100,000 human life planets could give up their oceans to the Dragon Palace, and the Dragon Palace could protect a planet. For those human life planets that were not threatened by desolate beasts, the Dragon Palace could take out the territories of more than 100 planets to trade for their oceans. According to Prime Minister Gui's estimation, more than half of the 100,000 human life planets currently had external threats. If the Dragon Palace proposed this plan, there would definitely be many planets that would be willing for the Dragon Palace to enter their planet's oceans. At that time, the Dragon Palace would receive an explosive increase in strength. And the Dragon Palace would have sufficient resources to increase the number of new Dragon Palace members. According to Prime Minister Gui's plan, the number of members of the Dragon Palace would be increased to 500,000 or even 1 million within a year. Alright. According to the instructions from above, all the available resources are now in the Dragon Palace. Call the members of the Dragon Palace over. Next, we will upgrade our strength. Wang Xian nodded and instructed Prime Minister Gui. It's the Dragon King. Prime Minister Gui nodded his head. Little Xian, if you are too busy, you can let us and Prime Minister Gui handle some matters for you. Just as Prime Minister Gui left, a group of girls walked over. Alright. I have nothing to be busy with. Just leave it to Prime Minister Gui and the rest of the civil officials. Next, I want to raise my strength. All of you should also raise your strength to the immortal godly king realm. Wang Xian said to the group of girls. Alright. In the future, you will be in charge of the external affairs while we will be in charge of the internal affairs. Alright, don't forget to get Qing Yu and Ling Xiu back as soon as possible. The group of girls nodded their heads. Don't worry. Wang Xian smiled and looked at the resources in front of him. Then his body moved. Roar. A low roar was heard. His entire body immediately transformed into the body of a divine dragon that was more than 10,000 meters long. It's been a long time since I've transformed into a divine dragon. When I'm stronger, I don't have to be so apprehensive anymore. Wang Xian mumbled. He stared at the resources in front of him and opened his dragon mouth. Buzz. All kinds of elixirs, divine trees, divine herbs, divine fruits, and divine liquid flew into his mouth and immediately transformed into a huge amount of origin dragon energy. Just as Wang Xian was rapidly improving, he was located in another part of the Dragon Palace. Numerous gigantic eternal kingdoms of the immortal god realm were placed around him. Devouring dragons were devouring them crazily. After inheriting the genes of the Bug clan, their speed of improvement was similarly terrifying. In the dragon transformation pool, the powerhouses of the Dragon Palace were sitting cross-legged inside. Similarly, they were improving their own strength. This time, there were more than 60 Immortal God King Realm experts and 200,000 to 300,000 Eternal God Master Realm experts who obtained the corpses. There were only 170,000 members in the Dragon Palace now. After consuming the dragon blood, every single one of them would receive a huge boost. At least this time, the number of Immortal Kings in the Dragon Palace could break through 200. Roar, roar, roar. Not long after, Wang Xian's dragon roar resounded throughout the entire Dragon Palace. All the members of the Dragon Palace paused and looked in one direction. Their eyes were filled with passion. The Dragon King was about to break through. Crack, crack, crack. At this moment, Wang Xian's dragon body had already reached 15,000 meters long. The shimmering substantive laws on it caused the entire dragon body to glow with 7-colored radiance. He has already possessed the combat strength of an Immortal King level 4. It won't be long before I can recover. Ha! At the side, the Divine Emperor Tianqin seemed to be even more excited than Wang Xian. Roar! Wang Xian opened his eyes slowly. Feeling the immense power, he smiled. Name, Wang Xian. Race, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Divine Dragon, Mandragon Unity. Level, Eternal Lord Level 8, Divine Dragon Transformation Level 6. Origin, 124-344/500,000. Supernatural ability, Ruling the Water Tribe that is lower than one's own level. Devours living things to extract origin. Control of the 5 elements. Cultivation method, Divine Dragon Transformation. Ability, Soul Absorbing, Spirit Attaching, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Dragon Eyes. Aspect, 5 Elements Great Mill, Dragon Kingdom in the palm, Dragon Head under the sky, Dragon Body of 10,000 miles, Yin-Yang 2 poles, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Arms Bowl, Divine Dragon Tail Swing. Law, Metal, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth, Light and Darkness, Level 8. Divine Kingdom, Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace, Level 7. Dragon Palace members, 178,693. Eternal Lord Level 8, I'm about to reach the 7th change of the Divine Dragon. Wang Xian looked at his attributes with a smile on his face. Eternal Lord Level 8 was able to fight against a Level 4 Immortal King. Such strength was invincible in this region. There's still one more thing to do. Destroy the Iron Blood Alliance and consolidate the strength of the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian mumbled. Wang Xian would make ungrateful people pay the price of blood. After all the members of the Dragon Palace were upgraded, he could prepare to make his move. But he moved and arrived at the Dragon King's palace in an instant. He stretched lazily and took out his AI to check the current situation. When he saw the comments on the thread, a faint smile appeared on his face. This area will soon be dominated by the Dragon Palace. Stabilize this area, settle down for a year, and enter an even more magnificent area ahead. Wang Xian mumbled. Chapter 2497. 2497 entered the Lorman Desolate Beast Park again. Time passed day by day. All the members of the Dragon Palace were rapidly improving their strength. The outside world was in chaos. The members of the Dragon Palace were staying in the Dragon Palace. A month's time passed in the blink of an eye. The improvement of all the members of the Dragon Palace had come to an end. Wang Xian sat on the dragon throne and sensed the strength of the entire Dragon Palace. A smile appeared on his face. After this battle, the combat strength of the Immortal King of the Dragon Palace broke through 200, reaching more than 230. The strongest ones, Ao Crab and the Devouring Dragon, had 6 Devouring Dragons with the combat strength of an Immortal King level 5. Other than that, the Devouring Dragon had 10 Immortal King level 4 combat strength and 20 level 3 combat strength. The remaining level 1 and level 2 fighters were 30 to 40. The Devouring Dragon was much stronger than the overall strength of the Dragon Palace. Other than the Devouring Dragon, Wang Xian had level 4 Immortal King level fighters while Ao Qi, Tian, Ao Xing, Mu, and Ao Qi had level 4 Immortal King level fighters. The rest were level 3 and below. With such strength, if released, it would definitely shock the entire starry sky. Prime Minister Gure. Wang Xian shouted softly. I'm here. Soon, Prime Minister Gui walked over respectfully. What's the situation with the Iron Blood Alliance? Wang Xian asked him. Dragon King, according to Ao Yao's investigation, we have discovered that there are experts from the Raging Flame Celestial Empire who have entered the Iron Blood Alliance. Among them, there are 2 level 5 Immortal King experts. In addition, we have sent people to investigate about the Raging Flame Empire. They are a top third-rate force with 5 Immortal King level 5 experts. Prime Minister Gui immediately reported to Wang Xian. After learning that the Raging Flame Empire and the Iron Blood Alliance wanted to kill him, Wang Xian naturally had to be prepared. Over the past month, Ao Yao had led some subordinates to investigate a lot of information. 2 level 5 Immortal King powerhouses. There are a total of 5 in the entire Raging Flame dynasty. Wang Xian mumbled as his eyes revealed a cold look. A force with only 5 level 5 Immortal King powerhouses wanted to kill him. Have you found out why they want to kill me? Wang Xian asked. Dragon King, we haven't found him yet. I'm afraid only the powerhouses from the Iron Blood Alliance and the Raging Flame dynasty know about it. Prime Minister Gui shook his head. If we attack now, do you have the confidence to wipe them out in one fell swoop? Wang Xian asked. The possibility of keeping them all alive is very small. At the very least, the 2 Immortal King level 5 powerhouses are hard to kill. We can severely injure the Iron Blood Alliance, but it's still a little difficult to wipe them out completely. Prime Minister Gui shook his head. He pondered for a moment and said, unless we can gather all the powerhouses of the Iron Blood Alliance just like the Beast Tide. We can exterminate all the powerhouses of the Iron Blood Alliance. Wang Xian sat there with a thoughtful look on his face. What's the current situation in the outside world? After more than 10 seconds, Wang Xian asked. Dragon King, everything is normal. All the properties of our Dragon Palace are on the right track. The Firehammer clan has evolved into the Fire Gold Dragon Seed. The divine weapons they forged have been sold on planet Dongqi and are loved by the strong. The elixirs refined by the Dragon Queen and the Fire Phoenix Dragon Seed have also been snatched up. Now, the Dragon Palace can earn a lot of resources every day. These resources can help the members of the Dragon Palace improve rapidly. The weakest among us now has the combat strength of a level 5 Eternal Lord. Prime Minister Gui said with a smile on his face. There were more than 170,000 members of the Dragon Palace and the lowest combat strength was a level 5 Eternal Lord. This force was absolutely invincible in the entire region. After we finish off the Iron Blood Alliance, there will be no enemies in this region. When the time comes, we will expand the number of members of the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian said. It's the Dragon King. Do we make any preparations for the Iron Blood Alliance? Prime Minister Gui asked. There's no need. I'll handle this matter. Wang Xian shook his head and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. The last time, the Dragon Palace had helped the Iron Blood Alliance to fend off the Beast Tide, preventing them from being attacked and destroyed by the desolate beasts. Since they had repaid their kindness with enmity, they would return the Beast Tide to them. It's about time to let that free laborer do the work. Wang Xian smiled. He took out his AI and immediately sent a message to the Empress. After sending more than 10 messages consecutively, he waited for a reply. It's enough to send it once. I'm not blind. Very soon, a cold message was sent back. Hee hee. Wang Xian smiled and replied immediately, wait at the location of the teleportation formation on planet Dongqi. I'll be there right away. All right. The Imperial Star Lady replied to a message very quickly. Ao Yao Ao Crab. Wang Xian stood up and shouted. I'm here. Two figures appeared in front of Wang Xian immediately and cupped their hands. You two come with me, he said to the two of them. It's the Dragon King. The two of them nodded in response. Let's go. There was an ocean on planet Dongqi. The Dragon Palace had been established there and could be teleported over instantly. But soon, Wang Xian brought Ao Xie and the rest to the location of the teleportation formation. When they arrived, Di Xing had yet to arrive. The speed is a little slow. After waiting for a few minutes, Wang Xian looked at Di Xing and said with a smile. It's you who came too early. Where are we going? Di Xing glanced at him with an expressionless face. The Lorman Desolate Beast Park, it's still there. Wang Xian smiled at her and walked to the teleportation formation at the side. Dragon King. The people guarding the teleportation formation shouted at Wang Xian respectfully. But Di Xingnu followed behind and stepped into the teleportation formation. Soon, they arrived at a planet that was relatively close to Lurman. Due to the betrayal of the Iron Blood Alliance, there was no longer any teleportation formation from Dongqi planet to the Iron Blood Alliance. Let's go. Wang Xian said to Di Xingnu and flew directly in the direction of the Luomen Desolate Beast Park. Ant Ing followed behind with Di Xingnu. Their speed was very fast. The distance of hundreds of billions of kilometers was only half an hour. We're at the edge. Half an hour later, Wang Xian looked at the vast Luomen Desolate Beast Park in front of him. His eyes were sparkling. This place was located on the right side of the Iron Blood Alliance. There was still some distance between them and the Iron Blood Alliance. This time, we are going to enter the depths of the Luomen Beast Park. We are going to capture some level 4 Immortal King level battle pets. So, it will be tough for us from now on. Wang Xian's gaze swept across the area in front of him as he spoke to Emperor Star Lady. Level 4 Immortal King level? You can tame them? Hearing Wang Xian's words, Di Xingnu was slightly shocked. She stared at Wang Xian with her eyes wide open. To be able to tame an Immortal King level 4 battle pet, what kind of concept was that? It meant that his strength had reached at least Immortal King level 4. Last time, he was level 3. This time, he was level 4? How was that possible? Of course I can. Wang Xian nodded his head lightly. His strength had improved so quickly that he could not hide it. He might as well not hide it at all. Chapter 2498. 2498 2498 Arrangement. Immortal King Level 4. Empress Star Lady followed behind Wang Xian with a face full of shock. She looked at Auntie Ing who was beside her. Such a terrifying speed of improvement, even those powerhouses who were reborn with blood might not be able to do it. Auntie Ing shook her head slightly and sent a voice transmission. With his speed, won't he be able to improve to Immortal King level 5 or even level 6 in a year or two? Emperor Star Lady said dumbly. I feel that the underlings beside him are stronger than the Dragon King. Aunt Ing frowned as she sensed Aohe's strength. Her strength was at undying level 6, and from her senses, the energy from Aohe's body wasn't weak at all. The one who could make him feel that wasn't weak was most likely an undying level 5 warrior. This? Emperor Star Lady was stunned. When he heard that the Dragon Palace had destroyed the East Li Immortal Dynasty and had a few level 4 Immortal King level warriors, she was already shocked. However now, the other party had displayed even more powerful strength, causing her to be stunned. Since when could one's strength increase so easily? Ao Yao, you guys go around and check out the news. Once you find the Immortal King Desolate Beast, report immediately. After entering the Lualman Desolate Beast Park for hundreds of billions of kilometers, Wang Xian immediately ordered Ao Yao and the rest. This time, Ao Yao brought 3 of her underlings. All of them had the ability to assassinate an undying godly monarch level 3 powerhouse. Of course, the main reason they came was to find the Desolate Beast. With the hidden ability of the thorned dragon species, without the strength of an undying godly monarch level 6 or 7, without a serious search, they would not be discovered. At the very least, Auntie Ying did not discover Ao Yao and the rest. Ao Yao and the rest were able to investigate the surroundings more easily than Auntie Ying of the Emperor Star. They would not alert the Desolate Beasts. Just follow me. This time, I won't let you go and investigate. Wang Xian said to the Emperor Star Lady. Using the ancestral tree's ability to transmit information to the surrounding trees, he could sense the situation around him. Di Xingnu did not say a word. The Lualman Desolate Beast Park was extremely huge. There were countless desolate beasts living here. According to the guess of some people in the AI, there were at least tens of thousands of immortal king desolate beasts. The desolate beasts in the middle were extremely powerful and had the strength of a level 5 or 6 immortal king. Every immortal king desolate beast had their own race or territory. Once a new immortal king was born, they would often fight over their territory. Buzz. Dragon King, I have found an immortal king desolate beast. 2 hours later, a thorned dragon flew over and reported to Wang Xian. Location. Wang Xian immediately asked. Star Lady Beauty, it's your turn. After receiving the message from the thorned dragon, Wang Xian immediately said to the Emperor's Star Lady. How did you find out? She looked at Wang Xian in surprise. I naturally sent people to investigate. There is a level 2 immortal king level desolate beast at a location of 200 million kilometers to the right. Attracted over. Wang Xian said to her. All right. Di Xingnu looked at him and didn't ask any more questions. She flew straight to the right. This wasn't the first time she was being chased by a desolate beast. Now, she was much more relaxed. Buzz buzz buzz. Di Xingnu left. Wang Xian quickly began to set up a formation. He didn't need to set up a formation that could trap a level 4 immortal king level desolate beast. A formation that could trap a level 3 desolate beast was enough. The speed of setting up the formation was very fast. By the side, Ant Ying retreated tens of millions of kilometers. Following that, Wang Xian and Ao Crab hid at the side and waited. An hour later, a roar was heard accompanied by an extremely pathetic figure. It's here. Wang Xian revealed a smile on his face. The Empress Star was still in an extremely pathetic state this time. No one could have imagined that the famous star goddess of the Imperial Star Field would be in such a pathetic state. Buzz. When the desolate beast entered the area, the formation was activated. Boom! Wang Xian immediately appeared. His arm turned into a dragon claw and grabbed the desolate beast in his hand. At the same time, a terrifying dragon aura engulfed the desolate beast. Roar, roar, roar. When the desolate beast saw Wang Xian who had suddenly appeared, it revealed a terrified expression and let out a terrified cry. However, with Wang Xian's current strength, it was impossible for it to escape. Wang Xian grabbed the beast with his dragon claw and immediately began to tame it. The process of taming the beast was still very fast. In less than half an hour, the immortal king desolate beast was crawling under Wang Xian's feet. Very good. Wang Xian revealed a smile on his face. With a wave of his arm, the surrounding formation disappeared. Go back to your nest and wait for the order. Wang Xian had a thought and ordered this war pet. Roar. The tamed war pet let out a low roar and flew back to its nest. Why did you let it go back? When Di Xingnu saw that Wang Xian had let it go back after taming it, her face was filled with astonishment. I have my own plans. Wang Xian said to her mysteriously. If you don't want to say it, then so be it. the Celestial Queen said coldly. Wang Xian smiled and didn't say anything. He stood on the spot and waited quietly. In less than an hour, there was news from Ao Yao. Let's go. This time, the distance was relatively far. After flying for more than 100 million kilometers, Wang Xian stopped. About 5,000 kilometers over there, there's a level 1 immortal king desolate beast. Wang Xian pointed at a spot and said to the Empress Star Lady. She didn't say anything and flew straight ahead. This time, the wait was a little long. It took the Empress Star Lady more than an hour to bring the immortal king level 1 desolate beast over. After taming it easily, Wang Xian let the battle pet return to his territory and waited for the order. In the following period of time, Wang Xian began to tame desolate beasts one by one in the Lalman Desolate Beast Park. A month later, he had tamed a total of 40 Immortal King level war pets, including 5 level 3 Immortal King level war pets. However, he didn't tame any level 4 Immortal King level desolate beasts. Dragon King, if we go any further, we will be close to the central area of the Lalman Desolate Beast Park. There might be even stronger existences in that area. After taming the 40th desolate beast, Anting flew over and reminded Wang Xian. I know, I will be careful. Let's see if we can tame some level 4 Immortal King level desolate beasts. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. In his plan, these 40 desolate beasts were not enough. He had to tame at least 3 level 4 Immortal King level battle pets. These 3 Immortal King level battle pets were very useful. Furthermore, when they were sold in the future, his strength would be able to increase once again. It's best to be careful, young miss. You have to be careful too. There's someone in the Lorman Desolate Beast Garden that can break through the Tian-Yin Vale's defense. Shadow Ant reminded Emperor Star Lady. Chapter 2499. 2499 on the news of the beautiful green moon. Anting, don't worry. If I'm in danger, it's his fault. The Empress Star Lady said to Aunt Ying as she looked at Wang Xian who was beside her. Nothing will happen. My men will check it out before letting you go over. Wang Xian said to her in a speechless manner. The Empress Star Lady snorted softly and followed behind Wang Xian as they continued to fly forward. Ao Yao and the rest had already gone deeper into the area. The location they were at a month ago was at the edge of the Lorman Desolate Beasts. Now that they had entered the central area, even Ao Yao and the rest had to be careful. Wang Xian scanned his surroundings warily and carefully sensed the situation around him. Their speed had decreased by a lot. Dragon King, we have discovered a group of desolate beasts. There are a total of 5 Immortal King desolate beasts, 1 Immortal King level 4, 2 Immortal King level 3 and 2 Immortal King level 2. Not long after, Ao Yao sent a piece of news that surprised Wang Xian. 5 Immortal King desolate beasts, a group. He revealed a look of surprise and looked at Di Xingnu excitedly. We have discovered a group of Immortal King desolate beasts. There are a total of 5. Be careful and attract them over. Wang Xian said. 5? You want me to attract 5 at once? Di Xingyar's face was dark as she glared at Wang Xian. Ahem, there's no difference between 5 and 1. There won't be any danger. Wang Xian gave her an embarrassed smile. You? Di Xing'er looked at her with some annoyance. If you do well in the next 1 to 2 years, I can help Chu Shi Space Beast to level up to Immortal King level 4. Wang Xian said to her. All right. Emperor Star Lady gritted her teeth and braced herself to fly forward. Every time she attracted an Immortal King desolate beast, she would be attacked like a rubber ball. Now that she had attracted 5 at once, the result was obvious. Not far away, Anting looked at Emperor Star Lady's back with some heartache and shook her head slightly. Dragon King, if your dragon palace becomes stronger in the future, can you help Xingnu? Aunt Ying turned her head and looked at Wang Xian who was setting up the formation. She hesitated for a moment before speaking. Huh? Wang Xian was slightly stunned. Following that, he looked at the disappearing figure in front of him and nodded with a smile. Sure, no problem at all. Thank you very much, Dragon King. Auntie Ing smiled in surprise. It's just a small matter. I'll help if I can. If I can't help, I won't help either. Wang Xian shook his head and continued to set up the formations one by one. He had a vague guess about the identity of the Celestial Emperor's daughter. However, although the Dragon Palace was weak now, it wouldn't be long before there was a place for the Dragon Palace in this dazzling land. He was confident. After the formation was set up, Wang Xian began to wait. However, this time, the desolate beasts were not attracted over even after 2 hours. Dragon King, she is being entangled by 5 immortal king desolate beasts. Wang Xian asked Ao Yao and the rest and got a reply very quickly. Is she being entangled? He frowned slightly. Dragon King, Miss sent me a message. She has no way to come here. She can't get rid of the 5 immortal king desolate beasts. An hour later, Aunt Ing came to Wang Xian's side and said to him. Got it. Wang Xian frowned. He immediately informed Ao Yao to bring Di Xing Nu over. Damn bastard, let me attract the 5 immortal king desolate beasts. At this moment, at a distance of more than 200 million kilometers, Di Xing Nu's face was flushed red. She was being attacked by the 5 immortal king desolate beasts. Rumble. An incomparably huge tail swept over, causing her face to turn pale. Her body flew backwards. She felt dizzy. Bastard! She cursed angrily, her eyes reddened, she almost cried. Right at this time, beside her, a shadow suddenly grabbed her. Emperor Star Lady was shocked, she couldn't help but struggle. Miss, don't worry, the Dragon King wanted us to take you away. Ao Yao's voice immediately sounded in her ears. Who? When Emperor Star Lady heard this, she heaved a sigh of relief. She looked at Ao Yao fearfully. Ao Yao's image was indeed terrifying. Howl, howl, howl. Behind them, the 5 undying godly monarch desolate beasts were stunned when they saw the sudden appearance of the strange Yao. Following that, they let out a roar and immediately chased. Ao Yao and the rest were not a match for the undying Emperor Level 4 desolate beast. He brought along Emperor Star Lady like a ghost as they swiftly shuttled through the forest. Roar, roar, roar. After chasing for tens of millions of kilometers, seeing that they could not catch up to the strange demon, they scanned their surroundings warily. The leading undying Emperor Level 4 desolate beast hesitated for a moment before stopping and letting out an angry roar. Emperor Star Lady hesitated when she saw that the desolate beast wasn't chasing after her. This fellow, I have to get him to give me something good. She gritted her teeth and with a move of her arm, she took out an item from her space ring. A piece of meat, gray meat, it contained a terrifying energy. Roar, roar, roar. When this piece of meat was taken out by her, the 5 undying God Emperor desolate beasts behind seemed to sense something. Their eyes instantly revealed a burning look. Howl, howl, howl. The 5 undying God Emperor desolate beasts roared and chased. The Ao Yao with Emperor Star Lady sensed this piece of meat. A familiar look flashed in his eyes. He did not have time to think. He flew at full speed with Emperor Star Lady. Oh, those undying godly monarch desolate beasts are following us. At Wang Xian's position, when he sensed the roars coming from the front, he was slightly stunned. A look of joy appeared on his face. Aunt Ing, hide for a while. He immediately said and immediately hid with Ao Crab. Ao Yao's figure soon appeared in front of him. At this moment, he was fleeing crazily with the Empress Star while the 5 desolate beasts were chasing after him. This is... Suddenly, Wang Xian was stunned. His gaze was fixed on the piece of meat in the Empress Star's hand. The grayish meat contained a majestic energy. An extremely familiar aura was transmitted over. When he saw this piece of meat, his expression changed drastically. The desolate beasts were getting closer and closer. When they stepped into the formation, Wang Xian gritted his teeth and immediately activated the formation. "Oh crab, suppress those desolate beasts for me." Wang Xian growled in a low voice. There was a hint of violence in his eyes. Following that, under the dumbfounded situation of the Imperial Star Lady, Wang Xian rushed straight towards her. But, in her shock, Wang Xian grabbed her neck directly. A cold, murderous aura was transmitted into her mind. The space around her was immediately confined. "Tell me, where did you get this piece of flesh?" Wang Xian grabbed her. Although it was blocked by the heaven-concealing veil on her body, his fierce expression still gave Di Xingnu a fright. Chapter 2500. 2500 Under the news of 2,500 green moons. What are you doing? You heartless bastard. What are you trying to do?" The Empress could feel the cold, murderous aura from Wang Xian's body. Her already pale face turned even paler as she yelled at him incoherently in fear. "How did you get this piece of flesh?" At this moment, Wang Xian's eyes were a little red as he stared at her coldly. Wang Xian could feel Xiaolan's aura from this piece of grayish flesh. How could Xiaolan's flesh be in her hands? What was the current situation of Qingyue Lingxiu and the rest? This was given to me by someone else. What are you going to do?" The Empress' expression changed as she stared at Wang Xian and asked coldly. "Who gave it to you?" Wang Xian stared at her coldly and questioned her. "Yes, Sister Lan Qingyue and Sister Sun Lingxiu gave it to me. This is the flesh of their space beast pets. What has it got to do with you?" The Empress' expression turned gloomy as she spoke to him. "Qingyue, Lingxiu." When Wang Xian heard what she said, he could tell from her eyes that she was not lying. The murderous aura around her vanished instantly. How did you know Qingyue and Lingxiu? Where are they now?" Wang Xian looked at her and grabbed her arm. His voice softened a little. "Let go of me first." Di Xingnu stared at Wang Xian angrily. "Phew, I'm sorry. I lost my composure. Lan Qingyue and Sun Lingxiu are very important people to me." Wang Xian took a deep breath and apologized to Celestial Lady. "Umph." Celestial Lady snorted in dissatisfaction. "About a year ago, when Aunt Ying and I were preparing to capture the towering snake space beast, we met them in a patch of space. At that time, Sister Lan Qingyue and Sun Lingxiu were being hunted down. Aunt Ying saved them. At that time, they had an immortal king level 3 space beast. At that time, she said that there was nothing to repay us, so she gave us this piece of flesh. They said that this piece of flesh could attract the space beast, just like what they said." "Do you know where they are now? Do you know where they went?" Wang Xian asked nervously. "I don't know, but they should be safe now. Auntie Ying said that their void beasts are very powerful, much more powerful than the towering snake." The Imperial Star Lady replied. "Then do you know who is chasing after them?" Wang Xian's expression changed. He took a deep breath and continued to ask her. "Why should I tell you? Based on your attitude just now, HMH." Di Xingnu looked at him with displeasure. "I can give you the towering snake space beast immediately. If you need any help in the future, I will not decline. Even if I have to offend a powerful force, my Dragon Palace is willing to help." Wang Xian stared at him and promised with a serious face. "You?" Di Xingnu was slightly stunned. She looked at Wang Xian in astonishment. This fellow actually said such words. "You? Who are they to you?" Di Xingnu looked at him with some doubt. Wang Xian did not reply. He reached out to take the flesh in her hand and sensed it. "It's our Dragon Queen. You saved our Dragon Queen. Our Dragon Palace will repay you." Ao Yaoyao looked at their Dragon King and said softly, "Dragon Queen? Dragon King? Both of them? HMBH, a playboy." Di Xingnu was stunned for a moment before she curled her lips. "It's good that you're all right." Wang Xian sensed Xiaolan's flesh. He could vaguely sense that Xiaolan was still alive. As long as Xiaolan was still alive, Qingyue and Lingxiu would be fine. Thank you for saving Qing Yu and the rest back then. Wang Xian thanked Di Xingnu. Qing, just don't think about killing me. Di Xingnu didn't give him any face at all. I'll help you tame the towering snake space beast. Within a year, I'll help you raise it to level 5 Immortal King. Wang Xian waved his arm and the towering snake space beast appeared beside him. Are you serious? Emperor Star Lady's eyes sparkled as she stared at him and said, You guys saved Qingyue Lingxiu and the rest. Our Dragon Palace owes you a favor. Don't worry, we won't lie to you. Wang Xian said directly. That's more like it. Emperor Star Lady's expression turned good. I'll go tame the 5 Immortal King Desolate Beasts first. Wang Xian looked to the side and saw that the 5 Immortal King Desolate Beasts had been suppressed by AO Crab. He immediately flew over. Immortal King Level 5. Empress Star Lady looked at AO, he who was suppressing the 5 Immortal King Desolate Beasts, her eyes gleaming. Her Aunt Ying was only at Immortal King Level 6, and this Dragon King's underling had already reached Immortal King Level 5. This was not the most important thing. The most important thing was that this Dragon Palace gave her a strange and unfathomable feeling. Raising the towering snake space beast to Immortal King Level 5 in a year, when that time came, who in the entire Emperor Star field would dare to compete with her? He was almost 100% sure that he could enter the Imperial Court's Divine Kingdom. Taming the Level 4 Immortal King level Desolate Beast took some time. After an hour, the 5 Immortal King level Desolate Beasts were completely tamed. After removing the formation, he ordered them to leave immediately. Come, I'll help you tame the towering snake space beast. Wang Xian said to Di Xingnu, who was beside him. All right. Di Xingnu naturally wouldn't reject him. She immediately nodded her head. She had spent too much time and money for this towering snake space beast. Miss? Aunt Ying flew over at this moment. She looked at Wang Xian in surprise and her gaze landed on Di Xingnu. Aunt Ying, do you still remember the 2 girls that we saved a year ago? Sister Lan Qingyue, Son Lingxiu, and the rest. They are this bastard's women, the Dragon Queen of the Dragon Palace. He said that the Dragon Palace will repay our kindness. He has helped me tame the snake, and he will also help me raise to Undying Level 5 within a year. Other than that, this bastard also said that if I need any help in the future, he will definitely not decline, even if it's against a powerful organization. Emperor Star Lady seemed to have released all the grievances she had suffered over the past few months, her face full of happiness as she said to Aunt Ying. This. Aunt Ying was completely stunned. How did such a change happen all of a sudden? The 2 women from the space behemoth a year ago were the Dragon Queen of the Dragon Palace? The Dragon King's women? Aunt Ying was a little stunned. She didn't expect such a coincidence. The corner of Wang Xian's mouth twitched when he heard the Empress address him so brazenly. I won't argue with this little woman. He thought to himself. Oh right, do you guys know the strength of the people who chased after Qin Yu and the rest back then? Wang Xian raised his head and looked at Di Xing, Aunt Ying and the rest. It seems to be a second-rate top force. It seems to be called Tianya, a force close to the central region. Aunt Ying thought for a moment and replied. Tianya? Wang Xian mumbled as a cold glint flashed in his eyes. Chapter 2501 2501 2501 Desolate Beast Nest, Undying God Country. Hiss hiss hiss. Success, success. Within the Lorman Desolate Beast Garden, the towering snake was swallowing and spitting its head. Beside it, Emperor Star Lady was looking excitedly at the space beast in front of her. The towering snake used its head to gently lean against her. Its intimate expression made her extremely excited. Space Beast, an undying level 3 space beast with its potential, it could grow to the pinnacle undying level. Once this towering snake space beast reached the peak, her status would be greatly enhanced. With the characteristics of the towering snake space beast, no one below the Void God Emperor was her match. She would not be bullied by anyone in the imperial court. Her mother would also rise. Congratulations, young miss. Thank you, Dragon King. Auntie Ying also walked over with a smile on her face. She thanked Wang Xian and looked at her. At least you have some conscience. Di Xingnu was also very happy and excited. She looked at Wang Xian and raised her head slightly. Hee hee. Wang Xian smiled. You said that I'm your benefactor. I'm going back now. I won't serve you anymore. Imperial Star Lady raised her head proudly like a farmer who had turned over a new leaf as she spoke to Wang Xian. When Wang Xian heard her words and saw her smug look, his face turned a little black. Well, Star Lady Beauty, if I want to help you raise the Choo-Choo Snake to Immortal King level 4 or even level 5, I need to capture and tame the desolate beasts and sell them to obtain a large amount of resources. If you are not willing to help me tame the desolate beasts now, I don't have the confidence to raise it to level 4 or even level 5 within a year or two. Wang Xian said to the Empress Star Lady with a black face. Didn't you say that you want to help the vertical snake to Immortal King level 5? The Empress Star Lady was slightly stunned when she heard his words and said in dissatisfaction. That is under the condition of being able to tame the desolate beasts. You have also seen how fast I can tame the desolate beasts. Now that I can't obtain too many desolate beasts, I don't have the confidence. Wang Xian shook his head. You rascal, are you going to put it bluntly, or do you want me to be your bait? Di Xingnu's expression started to change as she said with uncertainty. It's a collaboration. In the future, if you manage to tame a lot of battle pets, I can give you an Immortal King level 4 battle pet. A level 5 battle pet wouldn't be a problem. Think about it. Taking out a Space Beast battle pet and an Immortal King level 4 or 5 battle pet, how cool is that? Wang Xian said with a smile on his face. You are really not a good person. A few seconds later, the Imperial Star Lady gritted her teeth and glared at Wang Xian as she said that. However, what this fellow said was too tempting. She was only one of her father's thousands of children. If she did not have some influence now, she might not be able to see her father even once in more than 10 years. Furthermore, her mother was not favored by her father. If she had a place in the imperial court with her own strength, her father would have a huge change to her and her mother in the future. You can use this piece of flesh to attract the desolate beasts. This way it might be faster. Wang Xian smiled faintly. She snorted softly with a face full of displeasure. Ao Yao, continue to search for the desolate beasts in the surroundings. Wang Xian ordered Ao Yao and the rest. It's the Dragon King. Ao Yao and the rest nodded and disappeared in the next moment. On the side, Auntie Ying was trying her best to sense the silhouettes of Ao Yao and the rest. A hint of shock flashed across her eyes. The central area of the Lowerman Desolate Beast Park was obviously different from the outer area. Those who could occupy the central area were either powerful desolate beasts above level 3 Immortal King level, or a few Immortal King desolate beast races. In less than an hour, Ao Yao received news that the 4 Immortal King desolate beast races were all level 2 Immortal King. Let's go. Wang Xian said to Di Xingnu. Got it. Di Xingnu's body moved and immediately flew towards the desolate beasts. Roar, roar, roar. This time, because Di Xingnu took out Shaolan's special piece of flesh from time to time, the 4 undying godly monarch desolate beasts chased after them crazily. 2 hours later, the 4 undying godly monarch desolate beasts entered the formation and were easily tamed. Continue. After taming the 4 desolate beasts again, Wang Xian put them back while Ao Yao and the rest continued their search. However, more than 10 minutes later, the center of the entire Lorman Desolate Beast Park seemed to be boiling. Terrifying roars could be heard one after another. The sounds shook the heaven and earth. The entire sky seemed to have undergone a terrifying change. Wang Xian was slightly shocked. He immediately flew towards the sky. This is... Auntie Ing, who was beside him, also flew into the sky and stared ahead in astonishment. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Hovering in the sky, Wang Xian looked towards the sky and sensed waves of terrifying energy. In the distance, a huge crack appeared in the void. The crack looked extremely terrifying. Waves of wild and pure energy came from within the crack. Within the crack, it seemed to contain a space. This is the immortal King Divine Kingdom. It should be the immortal King Divine Kingdom of the desolate beasts. Aunt Ing stared at that area and said in astonishment, "The energy inside feels very strong, at least level 6 immortal king." Wang Xian looked ahead and said in astonishment, "Not only that, it's the lair of level 7 immortal king desolate beasts." Beside her, Aunt Ying's eyes were sparkling as she said, "Roar, roar, roar. Peng, peng, peng." Just as she finished her sentence, a terrifying collision suddenly erupted in front of them. "There's someone." Wang Xian was slightly shocked. Someone was fighting with the desolate beast there. It should be the lair of an immortal king level 7 desolate beast. That desolate beast might have already fallen. Its divine kingdom has attracted the attention of other desolate beasts and humans. Aunt Ing guessed from the side. The lair of an immortal king level 7 desolate beast. There must be many treasures there. Aunt Ing, shall we go and take a look? Emperor Star Lady immediately said. The treasures in the desolate beast divine kingdom are usually much less than humans. Furthermore, there are already people there. I can't make a move. Aunt Ing shook her head. I'll go and take a look. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment and said to the Emperor Star Lady and the rest, I'll go too. The Emperor Star Lady also said to Wang Xian with great interest and followed closely behind. Miss, don't expose your identity. Aunt Ing shook her head helplessly and hid at the back. Boom, boom, boom. Wang Xian, Emperor Star Lady and the rest got closer. There were sounds of collisions coming from the front. The laws tore through the void and the immortal king desolate beasts let out furious roars. When they flew over, there were still many desolate beasts fleeing in panic from the depths. There are so many immortal king desolate beasts and there are so many humans over there. No, that doesn't seem to be humans. Wang Xian and the rest got closer. When they saw the situation in front of them, they narrowed their eyes slightly. Chapter 2502 2502 2502 Desolate Beast Lair under the Undying God Country. That's the Heaven Fae race. They should be the same as your subordinates. In the sky above the Lorman Desolate Beast Garden, Emperor Star Lady looked at the group of people fighting against the desolate beasts and said, the so-called Heaven Fae race was the Fae Beast race. They had their own intelligence and could transform into humans. Many Heaven Fae and humans lived together, and many Fae beasts and humans coexisted peacefully. In front of them, there were many Heaven Fae experts fighting with the desolate beasts. Heaven Fae were bloodline cultivators, they had their own upper limits, and according to the bloodline experts, they would determine the strength of the Heaven Fae. There's an Undying God King level 6 Heaven Fae fighting with an Undying God King level 6 Desolate Beast. At that moment, Emperor Star Lady pointed to a spot and said in shock, a level 6 Immortal King warrior could be considered a powerful warrior in any region. It should be to fight for the immortal God country. Wang Xian muttered. His body moved and he came to the side. There were about 30 Heaven Fae. From level 1 to level 6 Immortal King warriors, there was only one level 6 warrior who was fighting with a desolate beast of the same level. The rest of the Heaven Fae controlled the desolate beasts, approaching the Undying God King level 7 Desolate Beast God country. However, this group of desolate beasts were not much weaker than them, constantly attacking the group. At the back, there were over 1,000 God Lord disciples below Undying God King. They stared ahead with ugly expressions. Think of a way to enter. We cannot wait any longer, or more and more powerful desolate beasts will be attracted. In the sky, an Undying God King level 5 warrior looked around with an ugly expression as he roared at everyone. The desolate beasts are not weak either. It will be hard for us to enter. That damned desolate beast actually summons so many underlings. Someone beside him replied with an ugly expression. We have to enter. It wasn't easy for us to find this opportunity. These damn desolate beasts. The group of Heaven Fae were filled with anger. It was not easy for them to find such an opportunity, but they were discovered by the desolate beasts here. If they continued fighting, they might attract more desolate beasts. When that time came, it would be difficult for them to get rid of this Immortal King Level 7 Desolate Beast Divine Kingdom. Immortal King Level 7 Desolate Beast Divine Kingdom. Wang Xian looked over and his eyes were burning. If he could obtain this immortal god country, Ao Crab's strength could reach the level of an Immortal King Level 6. Even if the treasures in the Desolate Beast Lair were not as many as humans, an Immortal King Level 7 Desolate Beast would definitely be at the level of a king in the Luomen Desolate Beast Park. There should be many treasures in its lair. They are fighting, can we reap the benefits? Empress Star looked at the Heaven Demon Desolate Beast that was entangled with each other and said to Wang Xian with sparkling eyes. This chance is very small. Unless you get Aunt Ying to make a move. Wang Xian scanned his surroundings and said to Empress Star. No, we can't expose our identities. Empress Star shook her head. Wang Xian stared ahead with a contemplative look on his face. Ao Crab, let's go. Beauty, you stay here first. Wang Xian moved his body and immediately flew towards the direction of the battlefield. Emperor Star Lady pouted and watched as they flew over. Do you need help? Wang Xian flew over and asked directly. Huh? Seeing Wang Xian and the rest flying over, the group of heaven demons revealed a look of astonishment. A middle-aged man with 2 horns on his head and a long tail looked at Wang Xian and the rest. All of you don't have the strength. The middle-aged man said coldly. Roar. As soon as he finished his sentence, Ao Crab's body moved and immediately transformed into a devouring dragon. Roar. Roar. Following that, 5 devouring dragons that were also emitting a terrifying aura immediately emerged from his body. The aura that belonged to a level 5 immortal king was completely unleashed. Oh. They are also sky demons? The group of sky demons were shocked as they looked at the devouring dragons in shock. 6 level 5 immortal king experts. This power was not weak in their eyes. Among them, there were only 4 level 5 immortal king experts. If you are willing to help us, we can give you 30% of the treasures in the immortal god country. In the sky, the old man who was entangled with the level 6 Immortal King Desolate Beast saw Wang Xian and the rest. His eyes were shining as he shouted loudly. 30%? Alright. Wang Xian nodded immediately and nodded to Ao Crab, let's do it. Roar, roar, roar. Ao Crab and the rest moved and immediately flew towards the battlefield. My friend, get your companions to tie down a few level 5 Immortal King level Desolate Beasts. Let's go in. When the middle-aged heaven demon saw this scene, a hint of excitement appeared in his eyes. He immediately shouted at Wang Xian. Sure, let's go in. Wang Xian nodded his head with a smile on his face. Wang Xian was already very satisfied with the 30% of the treasures given to him. This immortal kingdom was obviously discovered by them and they had torn apart the void to find it. In addition, their group of sky demons had defended against more than half of the desolate beasts. To be able to get 30% was already quite a lot. Ah, let's go. Help us defend against the surrounding desolate beasts. The middle-aged sky demon laughed out loud and flew directly towards the immortal divine kingdom in the void crack. Roar, roar, roar. The surrounding desolate beasts saw them flying in and let out extremely violent roars. One by one, the desolate beasts tried to charge in but were stopped by Ao Yao and the surrounding sky demons. In the sky, the level 6 immortal king revealed a smile in his eyes. But the moment he stepped into the void crack, Wang Xian could sense the savage aura coming from inside. Brother, I am the national advisor of the Tiger Chaos Demon Nation. Thank you for your help. The moment he stepped into the void crack, the middle-aged man introduced him to Wang Xian with a smile. His attitude was completely different from before. In his opinion, the identity of this young man in front of him who was able to order 6 underlings of the immortal king was definitely not simple. In addition, they might also be from the Heaven Demon clan. They still felt closer to their own kind. Dragon King of the Dragon Palace, we happen to hear the commotion here in the Luorman Desolate Beast Park. We are only doing this for mutual benefit. Wang Xian waved his hand indifferently. Wang Xian was still a little wary of this group of heaven demons. After all, he didn't know if there would be a conflict due to the treasures. However, he wasn't worried. At most, he could let Auntie Ying make a move from afar to intimidate them. Then let's enter this lair. This is the divine kingdom of a level 7 immortal king level desolate beast. It wasn't easy for us to find it. There should be a lot of treasures inside. The Heaven Demon Imperial Preceptor said to Wang Xian. All right. Wang Xian nodded. The two of them looked inside and immediately flew into the depths. This was the first time Wang Xian had entered such an unowned immortal divine kingdom. Chapter 2503 2503 2503 Divine Parasol Tree. The lair of the desolate beasts can't be compared to ours. After entering the lair of the level 7 immortal king desolate beast, Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor looked around and said softly. The immortal kingdom of humans would turn it into an extremely luxurious paradise. However, the lair of the desolate beasts could not be compared to it. There are many divine trees around. They have fully developed their intelligence. Wang Xian scanned his surroundings with his yin-yang 5 elemental dragon eyes. The interior of the lair was not dark. Instead, it was emitting a green glow. There were quite a number of divine trees inside. Just as they entered the entrance, there were 4 immortal king level 3 or 4 divine trees. Their bodies were emitting a sharp glow as though they could attack them at any time. Wood attributed desolate beasts like to place some divine trees in their lairs. These divine trees have given birth to wisdom. Their offensive strength is not high and they are the nourishment of desolate beasts. However, this is a rare treasure for us. The middle-aged Imperial Preceptor saw a few divine trees and his eyes revealed an excited look. Let's enter. His body moved and he immediately flew into the nest. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just as he flew over, the 4 divine trees immediately launched an attack and were easily blocked by Wang Xian. The 2 of them easily blocked the attack and flew into the nest. Entering the nest was an incomparably huge nest. The entire nest was more than 10,000 kilometers in circumference. The entire nest was densely packed with godly herbs and godly trees. It was simply a large area. Hiss, there are so many godly herbs and godly trees. Wang Xian swept his gaze over and his face revealed a burning expression. There were at least 400 to 500 immortal king-level godly trees and a few hundred godly herbs. The rest were all at the level of the eternal God Lord. Furthermore, some of the godly trees bore fruits and emitted rich vitality and energy. The value of these divine trees and herbs was extremely terrifying. Even if it's only 30%, it's still a huge fortune. Wang Xian mumbled. That's immortal elixir, wood attribute essence. It's an extremely precious wood attribute essence, immortal elixir. At this moment, the Imperial Preceptor of Heaven Demon was breathing rapidly. He immediately flew forward. Wang Xian looked over and a glint flashed across his eyes as he followed closely behind. There was a pool that was 2 kilometers in size. However, in the middle of the pool, there was a pool of wood essence. Just by taking a breath, Wang Xian felt refreshed. What a terrifying wood essence! Wang Xian's face was filled with shock. It seems like the accumulation of this level 7 immortal king desolate beast is very terrifying. It is indeed unexpected. However, the owner of the immortal god country is the king of the Lorman Desolate Beast Park. It is only natural that he has so many treasures. The Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor said passionately. Was he once the king? Wang Xian mumbled as he scanned his surroundings. Yes, according to the records of our chaotic tiger demon country, this king god desolate beast evolved from a wooden beam bird. Its intelligence seems to have broken away from the desolate beast. It can also be called a Heaven Fei. The Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor said. Wooden beam bird? Isn't it a very ordinary and weak bird? How could it break through to the immortal king realm? Wang Xian was a little surprised. It could be that it obtained some heaven-defying opportunity. As the Imperial Preceptor of Heaven Demon said that, he looked around and said, "Let's see if there are any treasures." Wang Xian nodded and immediately flew towards the location opposite the essence of wood. That should be the location where the immortal king desolate beast was resting. It was a bird's nest made of divine trees. Wang Xian entered and took a look. Heaven Demon Imperial Preceptor also flew over and checked the surroundings. He didn't find any treasures. Even so, there were enough treasures in there. It was enough to make Wang Xian's heart beat faster. These treasures were more than what the Eastly Immortal Dynasty had accumulated over thousands of years. At this moment, Wang Xian's gaze landed on a wooden stick in the middle of the bird's nest. The wooden stick was 2 meters long and was slightly yellow. It seemed to have lost its vitality. However, when he saw the notification on the system, he revealed an extremely surprised expression. This is the divine parasol tree. It's the divine parasol tree. There was a flash of passion in his eyes. With a move of his body, he immediately grabbed the divine tree in his hand. With the divine tree in his hand, Wang Xian could feel a wave of energy coming from the ancestral tree. He could feel that the soul-returning tree, endless tree, Fuchang tree, and Nirvana lightning tree were moving. It's a tree of the same level as them. Wang Xian's heart skipped a beat. Oh! Dragon King, what is this? At this moment, the Imperial Preceptor of Heaven Demon noticed Wang Xian's actions and flew over immediately. He asked him. It's a powerful divine tree. It's a pity that it has lost its vitality. Wang Xian did not try to hide anything and passed it to him. The Imperial Preceptor of Heaven Demon took it and sized it up. Indeed, the grade of this divine tree is definitely not low. It's probably higher than all the divine trees here. What a pity. It's just a branch. It's useless. He shook his head as he spoke. I'll take this branch. Does Heaven Demon Imperial Preceptor have any objections? Wang Xian stretched out his hand to take the branch and said with a smile. No problem. Its value is very low to begin with. Heaven Demon Imperial Preceptor didn't have any objections. He could still investigate whether this tree was a treasure or not. All right, let's move this immortal kingdom away first. Is that all right? Wang Xian looked at Heaven Demon Imperial Preceptor. All right, I'll tear apart the space in front of us. Dragon King, you move. Heaven Demon Imperial Preceptor said. All right. Wang Xian nodded. He immediately kept one of the withered branches of the divine parasol tree into his body. The two of them immediately flew out of the nest. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Just as Wang Xian was flying out, a phoenix cry resounded in his mind. At the same time, the ancestral tree in the dragon palace of the Tianzi continent trembled. On top of it, a branch appeared. Walala! The ancestral tree trembled slightly. Streams of extremely dense energy entered the divine parasol tree, causing it to gradually emit a green luster. Chirp, chirp, chirp. The sound of a phoenix rang out in the dragon palace, and Feng Luan and Guan Shuqing, who were in the dragon palace, trembled slightly. The entire fire phoenix dragon seed also felt a change that came from the soul. This is... Guan Shuqing and Feng Luan looked at each other and immediately flew into the Dragon King Palace. That is? That seems to be the divine tree of inheritance of the Phoenix clan, the Parasol tree. Feng Luan looked at the branch and felt the energy fluctuations on it. Her body trembled slightly. Sister Feng Luan, Look, that parasol tree divine tree actually grows next to the nirvana lightning tree. Guan Shuqing pointed at the ancestral tree. The parasol tree divine tree and the nirvana lightning tree actually slowly interweaved. The parasol tree divine tree can help the Phoenix clan to undergo nirvana, while the nirvana lightning tree is formed from another form of nirvana due to lightning attacks. Sister Shuqing, I can sense that we can undergo nirvana through the parasol tree and the nirvana lightning tree. It can proceed and evolve to a very powerful level. Feng Wan's eyes were burning. Chapter 2504. 2504 Distribution of 2,504 Treasures. Wang Xian did not know about the changes in the Dragon Palace. At this moment, he was located below the Level 7 Immortal King Desolate Beast Lair. A majestic energy was enveloping him. Ka. Advance. Deep within Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor's arm, it immediately transformed into a sharp claw that was hundreds of meters in size. He waved his arm forward heavily, directly opening a passageway in front of him. To open and pass through the void crack and pass through it was something that even a top-notch godly monarch expert could do. With the strength of Wang Xian and the Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor, it would still be difficult for them to pass through the void crack. It would consume a huge amount of energy. The space crack in front of them was torn open. Wang Xian carried the entire immortal divine kingdom forward at a rapid speed. In the normal world, a group of desolate beasts sensed the movement of the immortal divine kingdom. They let out furious roars as they frantically tried to attack the direction of the immortal divine kingdom. However, the Tiger Chaos Demon Country's strength this time was very strong. With Ao Crab and the rest attacking, the desolate beasts were completely suppressed. Even if they were to go berserk, they could not break through their defenses. In the sky, the Tiger Chaos Demon Country's Undying God King Level 6 expert had completely turned into a huge beast, completely suppressing the desolate beast. The powerful suppression made the desolate beast unable to resist. However, it was impossible to kill it. Good. The Tiger Chaos Demon Country's Level 6 Undying God King looked extremely excited when he saw the God Country move. This time, they had succeeded. Although they had paid 30% of the profits, it was totally worth it. If not for this group of people, they might not have gotten anything. Miss, 6 Undying Level 5 Warriors. At this time, not too far away, Ant Ying's silhouette came to Emperor Star Lady's side and said softly, "That guy is a little abnormal, they are improving too quickly." Emperor Star Lady looked at Ao He and the others. She knew Ao He. How could he be so strong before? How long had it been, and he was already an Undying Level 5. He's very abnormal. I wonder what kind of opportunities the Dragon Palace has. Miss, do you still remember the 2 girls from a year ago? Ant Ying exclaimed softly. You mean Qing Yu and Shu Qing? They are much younger than me, I can be sure. Emperor Star Lady muttered and nodded. Yes, they are very young. Their space beast is even more terrifying than the towering snake, and their own strength, they are also undying emperors. They are the Dragon Empress of the Dragon Palace. I wonder if they are one of the 10,000 races in the center of the universe. Ant Ying shook her head and said, Are there really 10,000 races in the center of the universe? Emperor Star Lady asked doubtfully. According to records, there is a center of the universe. This is not something we can come into contact with. Ant Ying said, looking ahead, let's go, we'll follow that Undying God Country, to prevent this group of sky monsters from having any thoughts. As she spoke, she brought Di Xingnu along with her to follow the divine kingdom that was located in the void crack. We are already at the outer perimeter. After traveling through the void crack for an hour, the Imperial Preceptor stopped panting and said to Wang Xian, It should be safe here. Imperial Preceptor, get your people out of the desolate beasts and return here. Let's start distributing the treasures. Wang Xian smiled and said to the Imperial Preceptor, All right. Imperial Preceptor Tian Yao smiled as well. He immediately broke through the void and sent a message. More than an hour later, figures flew over. Ha, a little crocodile, how are the treasures in the immortal godly nation? In the middle, a wild-looking old man said excitedly to Imperial Preceptor Tian Yao, "Grandpa, there are a lot of treasures in there. It's comparable to the accumulation of our entire godly nation. Grandpa, the most important thing is this nest, this divine kingdom, and the large amount of wood essence inside. With them, Grandpa, you will be able to..." The celestial demon Imperial Preceptor spoke with an excited expression, but he did not say the last few words. All right. When the old man heard his words, his body trembled and he flew over with an excited expression. Dragon King. At this moment, Ao Crab and the rest also flew over and shouted respectfully. The Imperial Preceptor of Heaven Fei looked at Wang Xian and whispered a few words to the old man. Dragon King, right? It's fortunate that you guys helped us this time. We will definitely not lose you guys for 30% of the treasures. However, please agree, Dragon King. We want to complete this immortal divine kingdom. The old man cupped his hands at Wang Xian and said, All right, we will enter the immortal empire. You can choose the treasures first. Wang Xian nodded with a smile. We will not take advantage of you. Dragon King, whatever you want, you can say it. The old man was slightly taken aback and said with a smile, Let's go in and talk. Wang Xian smiled and entered the immortal empire directly. The members of the chaotic tiger demon nation were not as ungrateful as the Iron Blood Alliance. They did not play any tricks in the distribution. Thank you, Dragon King. Speaking of which, the chaotic tiger demon nation has gained a huge advantage. The essence of wood and the entire immortal empire belong to them. The remaining 300 immortal trees and more than 100 immortal herbs belonged to Wang Xian. The elder from the chaotic tiger demon kingdom was very satisfied with the distribution. He spoke politely to Wang Xian. From our point of view, we have also gained a huge advantage. Wang Xian smiled as well. He was also in a good mood after trading with such a straightforward person. Such a terrifying resource could increase the number of immortal kings in the Dragon Palace by more than 100. However, Wang Xian did not plan to sell or devour these trees. These immortal trees were planted in the Dragon Palace and were a sustainable resource. Each time, the results would add a lot of experts to the Dragon Palace. It was a slow and steady flow. Dragon King, let's leave a contact number. Welcome to our chaotic tiger demon nation as a guest. We will definitely treat you warmly. The old man was very friendly with Wang Xian. Both of them left a contact number. Following that, the Imperial Preceptor of Heaven Demon Nation also left a contact number with Wang Xian and invited him to the chaotic divine empire. Wang Xian declined with a smile. He waved his hand and left. This time, he had made a huge profit. That Dragon King seems to be very young. His subordinates are very strong and have a noble bloodline. He should be a powerful tribe of heaven demon. The old man said as he watched Wang Xian leave. Yes, Grandpa, I have also sensed something. They are of the same kind as us. That Dragon King seems to be open and aboveboard. We can befriend him in the future. Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor nodded. Go back. This time I have a huge chance of taking that step. The old man's eyes flashed as he looked at the undying god country beside him, his heart filled with excitement. As long as grandfather can break through in our region, there aren't many who can match up to us. Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor revealed a look of longing. Chapter 2505. 2505 2505 Guardian of the Imperial Court. How's the harvest? In the Lorman Desolate Beast Park, the Empress asked Wang Xian curiously when she saw him return with a smile on his face. The harvest is not bad. Wang Xian smiled. The harvest this time was indeed not cheap. Not to mention the divine tree of God's grass, Just the divine parasol tree branch was already a huge profit for him. The divine parasol tree was a tree that phoenixes lived on. The reason why the phoenix race was able to stand at the top of the universe was largely due to the divine parasol tree. Now that he had obtained the divine parasol tree, he could vaguely sense the changes in the ancestral tree in the Dragon Palace. The divine parasol tree, the fire phoenix bloodline, and the nirvana thunder tree. Perhaps the Dragon Palace would be able to give birth to a powerful dragon seed. Continue with your work. Wang Xian looked at Imperial Star Lady and said to her. She curled her lips slightly and did not continue speaking. But the group of them moved and flew towards the opposite direction. They were now at the edge of the Lorman Desolate Beast Park opposite the Iron Blood Alliance. It was a long distance away from the Iron Blood Alliance. It would take at least half a day to fly there. However, Wang Xian did not plan to stay here. After flying for more than 10 hours, they arrived at the central area of the Luolman Beast Park near the Iron Blood Alliance. Ao Yao continued to search. After arriving, Wang Xian immediately ordered them. It's the Dragon King. Ao Yao and the rest continued to search for desolate beasts in the surroundings. According to Wang Xian's plan, they should capture at least 3 to 4 Immortal King Level 4 desolate beasts this time. Now that he had already captured one, he was still short of 2 to 3. Next, Wang Xian and the rest buried themselves in the Lorman Desolate Beast Park. When he found the desolate beasts, he immediately tamed them. When he could not find them, he began to study the array formation. Time passed day by day. It's this planet. The young man with the potential to become an emperor is here. However, at this moment, above the star source planet, a vast ship had descended. This was an ancient sailing ship. It looked like it was made of wood, and the green light on it flickered from time to time. This ancient sailing ship seemed to be sailing from the center of the universe, quietly floating in the sky above the star source planet. On the sailing ship, 2 old men stood quietly in front of the old man. The old man was dressed in plain clothes, looking like an ordinary old man. They looked down and murmured, "Found it." An old man held an ancient compass in his hand, looked at the display on it, and said with a smile, "Let's go." With a thought, the sailboat that was dozens of meters in size instantly appeared in the sky above the star origin planet Overlord Sect. Voila! In the next instant, the sky above Overlord Sect was torn apart. FUV, what's going on? Who wants to sneak attack me? Invincible battle technique. Invincible battle technique's voice sounded. When he sensed the situation around him, he was slightly stunned. In the crack in the sky, Invincible battle technique looked at the 2 old men standing on the sailboat in astonishment. Who are you? He stared at the 2 of them warily. Bloodline, what a strong bloodline, ha. Good, good, good. One of the old men looked at the compass before staring at Invincible with a burning gaze. What are you trying to do? I'm warning you, my invincible combat technique will become in existence like the Void God Emperor in the future. Invincible battle technique trembled when he saw the look in his eyes. He shrank his body in fear. The 2 old men in front of him gave him an unfathomable feeling. This was the first time he sensed such a terrifying person. Furthermore, the other party was able to pull him into the void cracks so easily. One could imagine his strength. Wang. An old man looked at him and smiled. He waved his arm and a token emitted a dazzling light. On the token, there was a big word guard, and behind the word guard was an ancient-looking courtyard. What is it? Invincible in battle stared at the token and said in confusion, "The guardian of the Imperial Court." An old man said with a smile, "The guardian of the Imperial Court stands on the Imperial Court and has guarded the Imperial Court for hundreds of millions of years. He doesn't hold authority, but he is above it." Another elder added with a smile, "What do you mean? Sir, please explain clearly. The Imperial Court? Is it the Supreme Imperial Court of the Imperial Star Field?" Invincible's eyes lit up as he immediately asked, The protector of the imperial court is independent of the imperial court. His duty is to protect the imperial court. Although he doesn't hold any authority, he can have resources that you can't even imagine. No one under the emperor of the imperial court can worship them. Within the imperial court, even if you have committed a heinous crime that cannot be judged by the guardians of the imperial court, no one else is qualified to be judged. As for U.S. guardians of the imperial court, we are the peak experts of this resplendent world. Brat, your talent is very good. You have been chosen by us. The two elders said to Invincible in battle with black faces. Damn, so awesome, haha, I want to join. Two masters, I have the talent of an emperor, can I be a very high official? Invincible heard their words, his body trembled as he said excitedly. You're only at Undying Emperor level 1, you're the weakest amongst us. If it wasn't for your talent, why would I want you, kid? Do you know what we, the guardians of the imperial court, represent? All right, we'll take you away immediately. The two old men looked at the random Invincible fighter and said unhappily, Wait, I still have to tell my parents and my teacher. Invincible fighter said quickly, Stop talking nonsense, we will secretly bring your family to the central region. Don't worry, in the Emperor Star Field, nothing will happen to them. An elder waved his arm and directly grabbed Invincible battle technique and threw him into a room inside the sailboat. Damn, we are from the same department after all. You are bullying newbies. Invincible battle technique screamed, and the door of the sailboat was closed. It's so good to be young. The two elders looked at each other and revealed a smile. With a wave of their arms, the sailboat disappeared into the starry sky. In the next few days, a huge incident happened between Tianze continent and Star Source planet. Tianze continent, the core members of the Battle Techniques family all disappeared. Overlord and some others also disappeared. The threat of Star Source planet, the Undying God King Desolate Beasts on Star Beast planet all disappeared overnight. From then on, this space no longer had the Invincible Emperor level battle techniques. However, in an even brighter and more prosperous starry sky, the arrogant life of being invincible in battle techniques had just begun. Boss, I'm leaving first. I'm going to the central region of the Imperial Star Field. The two old fellows won't let me tell you the details of what I'm going to do. However, don't worry, boss. In the future, my invincible battle techniques will be very awesome. When you reach the central region, you must let me know. Boss, don't forget about this little brother of mine. Wang Xian, who was located in the Lorman Beast Park, suddenly received a message from Invincible Battle Technique. He was astonished. Chapter 2506 2506 2506 Beast Tide 1. This guy was taken away? Someone must have noticed his talent. He wasn't too surprised that Invincible was taken away by a powerful organization. An Undying that wasn't even 1,000 years old, in the resplendent region, he was indeed a heaven-defying existence, hence it was normal for some organizations to pay attention to him. The news that he was invincible in battle techniques did not affect him much. Wang Xian continued to tame the desolate beasts while learning the array formation. Roar, roar, roar. A month later, roars sounded one after another. Wang Xian stared excitedly at the two desolate beasts that were chasing the Imperial Star Lady. Blood-winged horses, two level 4 Immortal King blood-winged horses. Each of them was about 100 meters in size and had a pair of blood-red wings. Their heads were slightly ferocious and they looked extremely ferocious. After I tame these two blood-winged horses, I can move. Wang Xian muttered to himself as a smile appeared on his face. Formation rise. Seeing the two level 4 Immortal King level desolate beasts entering the formation, Wang Xian immediately opened the formation. Suppress. He ordered Ao He who was beside him. Ao He flew over instantly and used his powerful claws to suppress the two desolate beasts. Roar, roar, roar. The two Immortal King desolate beasts let out roars of shock and anger. Wang Xian revealed a smile on his face and immediately flew over to tame them. Hoo-hoo! On the side, Emperor Star Lady was panting heavily as she wiped the sweat off her forehead. The higher the level of the desolate beasts, the harder it was to attract them over. It took her a full 5 hours to attract these 2 desolate beasts. There are 4 now. Including the desolate beasts that I tamed previously, there are a total of 4 Immortal King level 4 beasts. Wang Xian mumbled. In the past 2 months, the number of battle pets that Wang Xian tamed had reached around 60. Especially in this 1 month, as it was in the central region, he was lucky enough to tame 5 to 6 at once. Out of the 20 Immortal King level desolate beasts, there were 4 at level 4, 10 at level 3, and the rest were at level 2 and level 1. The number of these war pets could cause the entire region to boil. Back then, the entire Easternly Celestial Empire was about to be destroyed under the attacks of these war pets. This power is enough. Wang Xian looked at the blood-winged horse that had been tamed in front of him. His eyes flashed with a cold glint. All right, I won't capture it for the time being. Wang Xian said to Di Xingnu, who was beside him. It's finally over. Di Xingnu heaved a sigh of relief. For the past 2 months, she had been holding in her anger every day. From now on, there's nothing for you guys to do. If you want to leave, just leave. Wang Xian said to her. Following that, he gave an order to the blood-winged horse. The 2 blood-winged horses immediately flew towards their nest. What are you going to do after taming the dire beasts and letting them leave? Di Xing'er asked Wang Xian with some doubts. There are some things that need to be dealt with. Let's make way. Wang Xian smiled faintly and said to Di Xing'er and the rest. Deal with things? Di Xing'er had a puzzled look on her face. She followed Wang Xian and flew to the side. Wang Xian stood in the sky and looked at the territories of the Immortal King desolate beasts. Roar. Not long after, roars were suddenly heard from the front. The roars were filled with pressure and brutality. That's the territory of the blood-winged horse. Emperor Star Lady stood at the side, looking at the source of the roars with a surprised expression. Roar, roar, roar. Very quickly, roars that shook the sky responded. A spot in the Lorman Desolate Beast Park began to shake. Desolate beasts let out low roars as they slowly gathered together. Roar, roar, roar. From time to time, there would be an undying God King Desolate Beast roaring. The commotion in the Lorman Desolate Beast Park grew bigger and bigger. This is... Emperor Star Lady looked ahead in shock, her eyes gleaming. These desolate beasts were all attracted over by her, hence she was very clear about the territories of the tamed desolate beasts. From her senses, these disturbances were all coming from these desolate beasts. Clearly, these disturbances were ordered by that fellow beside her. More and more undyings roared. Many undyings below the level of undying emperor rushed towards the direction of the Iron Blood Alliance. And as more and more undyings joined in, some untamed undyings were also affected. The 4 undyings roared at the undyings, many of them joined in, rushing towards the Iron Blood Alliance. As they advanced, more and more desolate beasts joined in. You are going to... Emperor Star Lady widened her eyes and looked at Wang Xian in shock. Let's go. Wang Xian smiled and followed by the side of all the desolate beasts. With the guidance of the 60 Immortal King level desolate beasts that he had tamed, a beast tide was formed very quickly. Furthermore, the number of the beast tide was increasing at a terrifying speed. The number of the beast tide this time was twice as many as the previous one. The Dragon King is creating a beast tide to attack the Iron Blood Alliance. Aunt Ing flew over at this time and said with a twinkle in her eyes, Is he trying to destroy the Iron Blood Alliance? Celestial Emperor Lady said with a frown. It's possible. The last time the Dragon King helped the Iron Blood Alliance, it seemed that the Iron Blood Alliance wanted to harm him, so this time the Dragon King and the others are going to take revenge. Aunt Ing said slowly. This? Imperial Star Lady did not know what to say. The Iron Blood Alliance repaid kindness with enmity. This was indeed infuriating, but the Dragon King's revenge could very possibly destroy the entire Iron Blood Alliance, resulting in countless deaths and injuries. The Iron Blood Alliance is courting death. Miss, let's follow by the side and watch. As Aunt Ing said, she brought Imperial Star Lady to follow behind. The beast tide was moving forward from the center of the Lorman Desolate Beast Park. According to the speed of some desolate beasts, it would take at least a day for them to reach the Iron Blood Alliance. However, Wang Xian was not in a hurry. The people from the Iron Blood Alliance would not be able to escape. Have you found out about the news of the Dragon King? At the same time, in a luxurious palace of the Iron Blood Alliance, a group of more than 20 people were sitting inside. 2 old men in metal armor were sitting in the leader's seat. As they sat there, waves of uncontrollable murderous aura spread out in all directions. The weak ones didn't dare to look at the 2 old men at all. Lord Defender General, we haven't received any news about the Dragon King yet. We'll send more people to investigate the news now. The Iron Blood Alliance Master said with a frown. It's been more than 2 months, and there's still no news? Let me say it. We'll directly attack the Dragon Palace's lair. One of the Defender Generals sitting at the front said with a cold face. Chapter 2507. 2507 2507 Beast Tide 2. Country Defending General, if we attack the Dragon Palace directly, we're afraid that the Dragon Palace Dragon King can easily escape. When that time comes, it'll be difficult to kill him. Within the Iron Blood Alliance Palace, an Iron Blood Alliance elder frowned and said, Undying emperors weren't easy to kill. If they wanted to escape, with their strength, they couldn't stop them at all. The moment they couldn't kill the Dragon Emperor once, the next time would be even harder. Since you all know that attacking the Dragon Palace might allow the Dragon Emperor to escape, then quickly find out his exact location. The 2 defending generals of the Raging Flame God Dynasty said angrily. They hadn't heard anything from the Dragon Emperor in over 2 months. They were already getting impatient. Yes, our Iron Blood Alliance will definitely get news about the Dragon Emperor as soon as possible. The Iron Blood Alliance members immediately replied. They didn't dare to go against the 2 generals of the Raging Flame Empire. The Flame Undying Empire had already promised that the moment they destroyed the Dragon King, they would be willing to set up a super long-distance array to connect the Iron Blood Alliance to them. The moment this array was set up, the Iron Blood Alliance would be in danger, and they could immediately send help to the Raging Flame Empire. The Raging Flame Divine Dynasty would also guarantee to send reinforcements. This was a huge opportunity for the entire Iron Blood Alliance. As long as they connected to the Raging Flame Divine Dynasty, they would be able to step into the territory of the Raging Flame Divine Dynasty. It would also be of great benefit to the development of the Iron Blood Alliance. As for the matter of betraying the Dragon Palace and killing the Dragon King, they had long forgotten about it due to the benefits in front of them. Let's do it as soon as possible. The 2 country protection generals' expressions softened as they said, Not good, Alliance Master, not good. In the Lorman Desolate Beast Park, there are large numbers of desolate beasts attacking us. At this moment, a figure walked into the hall in a panic and exclaimed, What? There's a beast tide attacking us? Didn't the beast tide just erupt? Within the hall, the Iron Blood Alliance warriors were shocked. They immediately stood up and said, We don't know either. Through the satellite and our Alliance scouts, the beast tide this time is even bigger than the last time. We already know that there are 5 Undying Emperor Level 4 beasts. We estimate that they will reach us in 2 hours. The reporting middle-aged man said with a pale face. The beast tide that erupted not long ago. According to the past situation, there won't be a beast tide for at least a few hundred to a few thousand years. The Iron Blood Alliance leader's expression was extremely ugly as he said, Ring the bell, all soldiers prepare for battle. An Iron Blood Alliance elder said with a dark expression. Yes. An elder beside him immediately replied. Beast horde? Are there any undying level 5 desolate beasts? The two Flame God Empire generals in front of them raised their eyebrows and asked. No, we didn't find any undying level 5 desolate beasts. The middle-aged man immediately said. Two generals, our Iron Blood Alliance has always been under threat from the Lorman Desolate Beast Park, but the Beast Horde has never had any undying level 5 desolate beasts involved. Undying God King level 5 desolate beasts live in the center of the Desolate Beast Park. They do not need to fight over territory. An Iron Blood Alliance ancestor immediately said. Since that's the case, we will help you suppress the Beast Horde this time. The two Guardian Generals looked at each other and said calmly. Their faces were filled with confidence. Thank you two generals for your help. With your help, we can easily suppress all the desolate beasts. The Iron Blood Alliance members were excited. Even though the beast tide was strong, with the Flame God Dynasty's two undying level 5 warriors, they could easily defend against it. Even if the two generals were willing to help, the two of them could defend against all the undying Emperor desolate beasts. This was the strength of an undying level 5 warrior. Go! The two generals nodded indifferently. They didn't care about the Beast Horde at all. They could easily defend against the Beast Horde. 1. The group moved and swiftly flew towards the front lines. So. Prepare for battle. The Beast Horde has invaded. Kill them, kill them. At this moment, in the middle of the Lorman Desolate Beast Park and the Iron Blood Alliance, countless Iron Blood Alliance soldiers were flying towards them. All of them were roaring with killing intent. In less than half an hour, just like last time, the city walls were filled with densely packed Iron Blood Alliance soldiers. Tens of billions of soldiers, their hands holding weapons, stared coldly ahead. The warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance stood around the two defending generals of the Flame Undying God Dynasty, staring ahead. Right now, they could already feel the terrifying aura and the roar of the desolate beasts ahead. What terrifying power! Hiss! The beast tide this time is much stronger than last time. Even if the desolate beasts had not arrived, all the soldiers of the Iron Blood Alliance felt the immense pressure coming from the front. This caused many of the soldiers' faces to turn slightly pale. All the soldiers need not worry. With the two Guardian Generals of the Raging Flame Divine Empire helping us to resist the Divine Empire, we can easily kill all the desolate beasts. We will definitely win this battle. The Iron Blood Alliance leader was not too worried about the beast tide this time. He roared at everyone with a smile on his face. We will definitely win. When all the soldiers of the Iron Blood Alliance heard the Alliance leader's words, joy appeared on their faces. They naturally knew that the Raging Flame Divine Empire belonged to the powerful Divine Empire opposite the Lorman Desolate Beast Garden. With the help of the experts of the Raging Flame Divine Empire, they would definitely be able to easily defend against the beast tide this time. Howl, howl, howl. It's coming. At this time, the roars of the desolate beasts were getting closer and closer. They could see the ferocious desolate beasts at the front. In the front row, over 70 undying Emperor desolate beasts were giving off terrifying power. In the middle, 5 huge undying level 4 desolate beasts, a brutal aura rushed over. Over 70, there are actually over 70 undying Emperor desolate beasts. The beast tide this time is almost double the previous time. Luckily there are the two lords of the Raging Flame God Dynasty. When everyone saw over 70 undying Emperor desolate beasts, their faces were filled with shock. With so many powerful desolate beasts, if no one helped them, their Iron Blood Alliance would be destroyed. With us here, don't worry. The Flame Undying General looked ahead and said indifferently. Without an undying level 5 desolate beast, they didn't need to take it to heart. The two moved and floated in mid-air, staring indifferently at the 70 over undying level Emperor desolate beasts. Chapter 2508 2508 2508 Beast Tide 3. Haha, Prepare to face the enemy. Share some of the pressure for the two lords. When the experts of the Iron Blood Alliance saw the two guardian generals of the Raging Flame God dynasty standing in the air, their eyes revealed an excited look as they roared. So. One figure after another immediately came behind the two and stared coldly at the beast tied in front of them. With the two country defending generals here, these desolate beasts are just our resources. Below them, the 5 emissaries, princes, and a group of youths from the Raging Flame Divine Empire were looking forward with smiles on their faces. Similarly, they did not take the beast tied seriously this time. Are they all here? At the same time, at the side of the beast tied, Wang Xian looked at the soldiers at the front line of the Iron Blood Alliance. Looking at the dozens of immortal God King powerhouses floating in the sky, a faint smile appeared on his face. His gaze landed on the two figures in the middle, and his eyes were shining. Dragon King, the two in the middle should have the combat strength of a level 5 immortal king. He stood beside him and whispered. Okay. Wang Xian nodded slightly. You will deal with the two of them later. The two level 5 immortal king level powerhouses were obviously from the Blazing Flame Empire. The reason why the Iron Blood Alliance wanted to kill him was also because of the Blazing Flame Empire. The Blazing Flame Empire is not a force in this region. I should not have provoked them. Wang Xian mumbled. However, since you guys want to kill me, then just wait for your doom. As he spoke, an extremely sinister expression appeared on his face. Do it. Wang Xian shouted in a low voice and ordered immediately. But in the next moment, Xie, who was at the side, vanished. Roar. At the same time, at the front of the beast tied, 60 immortal king-level desolate beasts sensed Wang Xian's order and let out a furious roar. The other 10 immortal king-level desolate beasts that were led over also roared when they saw the roars of their own kind around them. Their eyes were filled with bloodlust. With each roar, below, all the desolate beasts below Undying God King charged forward. A bunch of beasts, go die. The two defending generals floating in the air stared disdainfully at the 70 desolate beasts in front of them, waving their arms. One of them had a large blade in his hand, while the other held a small city-like weapon. Leave these beasts to the two of us. Kill all the other desolate beasts. The two country defending generals said proudly. Their bodies moved and slashed at the 70 over Undying God Emperor desolate beasts. All right, then I'll have to trouble the two generals. The warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance revealed excited expressions. At this time, they felt that cooperating with the Raging Flame God dynasty was worth it. Kill! A defender general roared and raised the long blade in his hand, slashing forward. More than 70 immortal king desolate beasts in front of them felt the terrifying attack power, causing a commotion. Especially those desolate beasts that were not subdued by Wang Xian, they were shaking their bodies in fear. Roar. However, at this moment, an even more terrifying oppressive sound was heard. It went straight for the terrifying blade light. Roar. Sensing this aura, the tamed desolate beasts let out an excited roar. Peng! The saber beam collided with an incomparably huge claw and instantly dissipated. Oh, what? The two calm and composed country protection generals saw a huge creature suddenly appear. Sensing its terrifying strength, their expressions changed. Roar. Before they could react, another terrifying existence appeared from the huge beast. Two huge figures attacked the two of them. Shit, these two are Undying God King level 5 desolate beasts. One of the country defending generals shouted in shock. What? How is this possible? How can there be an Undying God King level 5 desolate beast? Below, when everyone heard the general's words, their bodies froze, their faces filled with shock. Especially the people from the Iron Blood Alliance, their faces instantly paled. These are two Undying level 5 desolate beasts. They immediately raised their heads and looked up, seeing the two terrifying creatures. Their bodies trembled. No, no, these creatures are so familiar, so familiar. Suddenly, the Ironblood Alliance master stared at the two terrifying creatures and muttered. The more he looked like the powerful creatures described in the AI. Those were the Dragon King's subordinates. Roar. At this moment, another extremely terrifying roar sounded. This was the third sound. The source of the roar was naturally Ao Crab's body. The ones who attacked were naturally Ao Crab and his devouring dragons. The third Undying Level 5 Undying Level Devouring Dragon crawled out from his body and attacked the two Flame God Generals. Damn, 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 what kind of monster is this? One of the generals saw the third creature appear and his expression became ugly. He roared fiercely. The two of us will hold back these two Undying Level 5 God King Desolate Beasts. The rest will be up to you. The other Defender General roared softly. Exchanging glances with the other, the two immediately flew into the distance. They wanted to lure the three Undying Level 5 God King Desolate Beasts away. Otherwise, the aftershocks of their battle would cause the Iron Blood Alliance to suffer heavy losses, even destruction. However, with the two of them, they could only pin down these three terrifying creatures. The two of them flew into the distance. Ao Xie and the rest had a glint in their eyes, but they didn't stop them. This is the time, hee. When Wang Xian saw the two Level 5 Immortal King experts leaving, the corner of his mouth curled up slightly. A sinister look appeared on his face. But the next moment, his body moved and flew towards the center of the battlefield at a terrifying speed. How could the Beast-Tide this time be so terrifying? How could there be three Immortal King Level 5 Desolate Beasts? How could it be? At this moment, many experts of the Iron Blood Alliance were still shocked by the sudden appearance of the three Immortal King Level 5 experts. Only the Iron Blood Alliance leader's expression changed as he thought of a possibility. Wang. Suddenly, everyone felt the entire space change. Huge black holes appeared out of thin air and the entire space became extremely strange. At that moment, the wild beasts below Undying Level felt the change in space and began to stir. The entire strange space actually covered an area of 400 to 500 million kilometers. Due to the dense beast horde battle lines, all the desolate beasts and people from the Iron Blood Alliance were covered. It's the Dragon Palace Dragon King. It's the Dragon Palace Dragon King. The Iron Blood Alliance master saw this strange space and was completely certain of it. He widened his eyes and roared in disbelief. Chapter 2509 2509 Beast-Tide 4. Dragon Palace Dragon King? This is obviously a Beast-Tide. How can it be Dragon Palace Dragon King? The Iron Blood Alliance leader's words caused everyone's faces to reveal shock and shock. This space is exactly the same as what the AI described. I can't sense my own undying country. This is the space. It's Dragon King. At the side, an undying God King's heart skipped a beat. He looked at the space around him and widened his eyes. His face was filled with fear as he shouted in shock. Iron Blood Alliance, long time no see. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded. Roar, roar, roar. Roar, roar, roar. Wang Xian's figure flew towards the front of the group of desolate beasts. Among them, the dozens of Immortal King Desolate Beasts that were led oversaw a human flying towards them. They stared at him with a grim expression and let out a furious roar. However, just as they recalled their roar, more than 60 Immortal King Desolate Beasts roared at them at the same time. Their grim gazes warned them. Roar. The dozens of Immortal King Desolate Beasts let out a low roar and scanned their surroundings restlessly. Roar, roar, roar. They tried to escape but realized that they could not sense their nest at all. This made them even more restless. The 60 over desolate beasts that were tamed by Wang Xian looked at them and let out a warning roar again. Roar. The dozens of Immortal King Desolate Beasts let out a low growl in response. Facing the 60 over immortal king desolate beasts, they quieted down. At this moment, Wang Xian had already arrived in front of all the immortal king desolate beasts. He was smiling as he stared at the people from the Iron Blood Alliance. Hiss! Seeing Wang Xian floating in front of all the desolate beasts and seeing the desolate beasts standing quietly behind him, everyone from the Iron Blood Alliance gasped in unison. "It's you, it's really you, Dragon King." The leader of the Iron Blood Alliance widened his eyes and stared at Wang Xian with an extremely ugly expression. The surrounding experts from the Iron Blood Alliance also narrowed their eyes slightly and wore a gloomy expression. "It's that guy. This guy." At the side, the Lord of the Blazing Inferno Dynasty and the group of young men were also staring at Wang Xian in astonishment. Is he the Dragon King? The 5 emissaries of the Blazing Inferno Dynasty also felt their hearts pounding violently as they looked at the beast-tide army with a solemn expression. It's that Dragon King. What's going on? How could the Dragon King order the beast-tide? Isn't the Dragon King the benefactor of our Iron Blood Alliance? Yeah, what's going on? Is the Dragon King here to help us? The ordinary soldiers of the Iron Blood Alliance did not know that they were going to kill the Dragon King. When they saw Wang Xian standing opposite them, they opened their mouths slightly. Iron Blood Alliance, are you familiar with the beast tide? Not long ago, you guys encountered a beast tide. I, the Dragon King, led my men to help you. Wang Xian's gaze swept across everyone in the Iron Blood Alliance as he spoke in a slightly sinister tone. Dragon King, then, those 3 immortal king level 5 powerhouses are your men. Sensing Wang Xian's gaze, the chief of the Iron Blood Alliance clenched his fists tightly as he asked in a low voice. His voice was trembling slightly. What do you think? The corners of Wang Xian's mouth curled up slightly. The last time I, the Dragon King, helped you guys. In the end, you guys repaid my kindness with enmity and wanted to kill me instead. Iron Blood Alliance, good, very good. This is the first time that I have met such an ungrateful person. Since that's the case, I will have to bear the revenge from the Dragon Palace. This beast tide is a gift from me to you guys. Are you satisfied? He stared coldly at the chief of the Iron Blood Alliance and spoke with murderous intent. What? Why would the Iron Blood Alliance want to? His words caused the expressions of all the soldiers of the Iron Blood Alliance who were unaware of the situation to change drastically. Why would the Iron Blood Alliance want to kill the Dragon King? Dragon King, we have no other choice. We have no other choice. An elder of the Iron Blood Alliance was trembling as he stared at Wang Xian with blood-red eyes. He growled in a low voice, Dragon King, are you trying to destroy the Iron Blood Alliance? That's right. Today, I'm going to destroy the Iron Blood Alliance. I will let you know the consequences of trying to kill me. Wang Xian spoke to them without hiding anything. Beast tide, Dragon King, you actually launched such a huge beast tide to deal with us. You really think highly of us. One of the patriarchs of the Iron Blood Alliance looked at the immortal king desolate beast behind Wang Xian with blood-red eyes. His face was filled with regret as he growled. I have spent a lot of effort to capture all of you in one go. Wang Xian looked at him with a mocking expression. Capture all of you in one go. When everyone heard Wang Xian's words, they felt their scalps turn numb and their hearts turn cold. Something big is going to happen. At the side, the heart of the Lord of the Blazing Dynasty was beating violently. He had a bad premonition. Beside him, the 5 envoys were also holding their weapons tightly, extremely nervous. This time, they had kicked an iron board. This Dragon Palace doesn't only have 3 undying level 4 warriors, how can they be so strong? How can there be 3 undying level 5 warriors here? An emissary from the Raging Flame God dynasty couldn't help but roar. They had followed the Emperor's orders to kill the Dragon King, and now they realized that the Dragon King's power wasn't weaker than theirs, or even stronger. Kill? With what? Weren't they sending themselves to their deaths? What do we do? The Dragon King's power is too terrifying, 3 level 5 undying fighters, it's not hard for them to kill us. Damn it, we've done something wrong this time, we have to get the Dragon King to forgive us, otherwise our Iron Blood Alliance. In the center, a few of the Iron Blood Alliance elders and alliance leaders said softly. They had completely lost their sense of propriety. Dragon King, this time it's our fault, we're willing to apologize and give the Iron Blood Alliance a chance. We are doing this for the future of the Iron Blood Alliance, but we haven't done anything yet. An elder of the Iron Blood Alliance begged for mercy. Do you think that I don't know about your Iron Blood Alliance sending people to look for my information? It's too late to beg for mercy now. Kill. Wang Xian didn't want to talk to them anymore. He waved his arm and ordered loudly. Roar, roar, roar. Behind them, the 60 immortal king desolate beasts let out an attack roar in unison. Following that, they immediately pounced forward. Not good, defend and defend. Dragon King, can't you give us a chance? Seeing all the desolate beasts charging at them, the chief of the Iron Blood Alliance roared in fear. You deserve it. Wang Xian's eyes were cold. Roar. Behind all the desolate beasts, a huge creature flew over from behind. Its terrifying aura made everyone tremble. Immortal King Level 5 Devouring Dragon. Chapter 2510. 2510 had brought this upon himself. An undying level 5 being and an undying level 5 being. When a swallowing dragon's roar covered all sounds, the moment all the warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance saw him fly over. Everyone's faces were filled with disbelief, their faces filled with shock. Dragon Palace, there was still an undying level 5 being hiding in this space. Stunned at this time, everyone was stunned. How do we fight? An undying level 1 warrior looked sadly at the Beast Tide and Dragon Palace's undying level 5 warrior. On their side, the strongest were only 3 undying level 4 ancestors. However, there were already 5 undying level 4 desolate beasts on the other side. They were already at a disadvantage. Now against a level 5 undying, how could they fight? No, 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 Dragon King, how can you have such terrifying strength? Iron Blood Alliance leader couldn't believe it as he looked at another level 5 undying, his eyes bloodshot. With such terrifying strength, would the Eastly Immortal Dynasties still dare to provoke the Dragon King? If they knew that the Dragon King had such power, why would they still dare to cooperate with the Raging Flame Immortal Dynasty? If they knew, they would cling onto the Dragon Palace. As long as the Dragon King nodded, what kind of Beast Tide crisis would they have to face? The strength displayed by the Dragon Palace had already surpassed that of the Raging Flame Immortal Dynasty. What a joke! Wang Xian looked at the disbelief on his face and his face was filled with mockery. Roar. Following that, what greeted the Iron Blood Alliance was the terrifying Dragon Claw attack of the Devouring Dragon. That huge body and 18 terrifying claws instantly appeared in front of the 40 immortal kings of the Iron Blood Alliance and tore them apart. Run, run, run. Feeling the swallowing dragon's terrifying attack, the Iron Blood Alliance ancestor howled in fear. They didn't even have the desire to defend, turning and fleeing madly. I can't return to my god country, we're finished. However, in the next moment, screams of pain resounded. Mixed within were screams of panic and despair. They could no longer sense their god country. Facing this terrifying beast horde, what they faced was death and destruction. No! The screams were from over 10 undying level 1 warriors and countless soldiers below. When the warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance heard these screams, blood flowed out of their eyes. They turned around and roared in despair. Below, the Beast Tide had already charged into their group of warriors. There were even a few undying God King desolate beasts wreaking havoc. Those warriors who had not reached the undying God King realm did not have the ability to resist at all. Seeing this scene, all the warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance collapsed. Those were their warriors, Many of them were their descendants, and they were being slaughtered. It was all because of their choices and their ingratitude. Dragon King, stop. Stop. We surrender. We surrender. An elder of the Iron Blood Alliance could not help but turn around and shout at Wang Xian in despair. They were afraid, really afraid. The Dragon King's influence was too strong. It was a piece of cake to destroy them. They were afraid that after the Dragon King destroyed them, he would destroy their planet. If the Dragon King really did that, who would be able to stop him? They had protected the planet for millions or even tens of millions of years for generations. Because of their choices, because of their ingratitude, they were destroyed. They didn't want to see that. Stop, we surrender, we surrender. Seeing an elder crumble and stand there in despair, the rest of the Iron Blood Alliance warriors trembled and stopped. Some of the immortal godly kings were even kneeling there. Spare our lives, spare our clansmen. Plop. The leader of the Iron Blood Alliance kneeled in the air and lowered his head towards Wang Xian. Spare you? If not for my strength, I would probably be the one to die, right? Wang Xian stared at them expressionlessly. There was no mercy in his eyes. Dragon King, what do you need to do to be willing to let us off? Bang, bang, bang. As one of the patriarchs of the Iron Blood Alliance spoke, he knelt down as well and spoke with a pained expression. The rest of the experts of the Iron Blood Alliance also knelt down immediately. They had already lost the ability and qualification to resist. No matter what, they had to die. However, they didn't want to die. All of you have committed your own mistakes and implicated your clansmen. You have brought your own sins upon yourselves. Commit suicide immediately. I can let your clansmen off. Wang Xian looked at the members of the Iron Blood Alliance who were kneeling there with a mocking expression on his face. Now, he knew regret and begged for mercy. If Wang Xian was a weakling in this matter, he would be the one to die. He would definitely not let off those who wanted to kill him. What? You want us to commit suicide? Wang Xian's words made their faces turn pale. Their eyes were filled with fear. They were all immortal king-level existences with a lifespan of 1,000,000 years. Didn't want to die. Ah. However, there were continuous screams from below. When they looked over, their hearts were beating violently. Wang Xian stared at them coldly without saying a word. He just stared at them coldly. Every second, many people would be eaten and torn apart by the desolate beasts. However, they were not worthy of sympathy. This was because their forefather had committed a mistake, and their forefather had to bear the consequences. Now, their forefather was able to save them. They were killed because of their forefather. Forefather, we are all going to die anyway. Kill ourselves. At least we can let our clansmen live. Ah, the strong prey on the weak. This time, it's our Iron Blood Alliance's fault. It's our fault. We have to pay the price in blood. Pooh! An immortal king level 3 powerhouse's body trembled. He let out a bitter laugh as his palm landed directly on his head. They had lost, they had lost. They had lost because of their ingratitude and their greed. Dragon King, make these desolate beasts stop. We are willing to commit suicide. The Iron Blood Alliance leader's body trembled as he roared at Wang Xian. Buzz! Wang Xian waved his hand. Roar, roar, roar. At the next moment, the 60 tamed immortal king desolate beasts let out an angry roar. All the desolate beasts trembled and did not dare to continue attacking. They shrunk back in fear. Members of the Iron Blood Alliance, remember, do not avenge us. The 3 patriarchs closed their eyes weakly and spat out blood slowly. Forefathers. Some of the soldiers looked over and their faces were filled with tears. No, no, Dragon King. Our Iron Blood Alliance has already admitted our mistakes. Can't we just let us go? A middle-aged man glared at Wang Xian and shouted angrily. However, just as he finished his sentence, a terrifying claw struck directly at his position. No! The middle-aged man's face was filled with horror as he shouted in fear. Bang! As the claw landed, thousands of people around him were affected and died instantly. It's already merciful of me to let all of you off. The devouring dragon's cold voice resounded in everyone's ears. Wang Xian looked at him coldly. If the Dragon Palace was weak, would they let him off if the Dragon Palace begged for mercy? Obviously not. Chapter 2511. 2511 had become the king of this region. Within the black hole, everyone saw that because a soldier roared at the Dragon King, he was directly killed by the terrifying expert of the Dragon Palace, and thousands of people around him died because of his words. Everyone's hearts turned cold, and their eyes were filled with fear. Now, they truly realized that their lives and deaths were completely in the hands of the Dragon King. Because of their kindness and enmity, the Dragon King had come to destroy them. It was already merciful of the Dragon King to let them go. At this time, they also knew that if they dared to show any dissatisfaction, or even think about taking revenge on the Dragon King in the future, then the powerhouses of the Dragon Palace would destroy all of them now. This time, it's our fault. We've harmed you. Remember, don't take revenge. An Iron Blood Alliance elder stared at everyone sadly and roared softly. After they were killed, there wouldn't be a single undying emperor in the entire Iron Blood Alliance. It was impossible for the Iron Blood Alliance to take revenge for them. The entire Iron Blood Alliance had millions of years to reach their current level, and there were only 3 undying Emperor Level 4 warriors. They could not be compared to the Dragon Palace and Dragon King. Taking revenge was courting death. It's the Elder. All the soldiers looked at the powerhouses of the Iron Blood Alliance and lowered their heads slowly. Although the disaster this time was caused by the upper echelons of the Iron Blood Alliance, it was still for the sake of the entire Iron Blood Alliance. They had nothing to blame. Dragon King, I hope you can give us a way out. The experts from the Iron Blood Alliance looked at Wang Xian with pleading faces as they growled in a low voice. Hee, all of you look like victims. Wang Xian looked at them with a mocking expression on his face. With his personality and the future plans of the Dragon Palace, with the strength of the Dragon Palace, would the Dragon Palace not help them when the Iron Blood Alliance gave the ocean to the Dragon Palace in the future? Obviously it was impossible. If they came to beg him, he would protect them too. But the Iron Blood Alliance wanted to kill him. What could they do? The Iron Blood Alliance was destroyed in our hands. The undying fighters muttered in despair. Pooh. They all closed their eyes, their arms landing heavily on their heads. Very quickly, their bodies fell. The 40 or so Iron Blood Alliance undyings all committed suicide. Rumble. What do we do? What do we do? Not far away, a group of over 10 undyings stood there stiffly. Beside them, there were 5 powerful undyings. However, at this time, their foreheads were covered in cold sweat. Looking at the corpses of the Iron Blood Alliance, their bodies trembled. 40 undyings all committing suicide, even in their area, it was a shocking thing. The warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance all committed suicide? What about them? 1. The Dragon King is looking at us. The Dragon King is looking at us. At this time, a youth suddenly said in fear, his voice even filled with tears. That's right, the Dragon King looked at them. A few of the young men cried out in fear. The 5 emissaries of the Blazing Flame Empire, the king of the Blazing Flame Empire, also trembled. His face was filled with panic. Gulp. They gulped and looked at the Dragon King with a pale face. I have a question. I don't know your Blazing Flame Empire at all. Why did you want to kill me? Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and asked the people from the Blazing Flame Divine Empire. We don't know either. We don't know either. The people immediately shook their heads and couldn't help but retreat backward. You don't know? How could you not know? Hee, don't worry. I will destroy your Blazing Flame Divine Empire. All of you must die too. Wang Xian looked at them mockingly and said coldly. Roar. As soon as Wang Xian finished his sentence, the devouring dragon immediately attacked them. "No, no, don't kill us! Don't kill us!" Terrified pleas for mercy sounded. The blazing flame god roared at everyone with a face full of despair. Bang, bang, bang. However, in the next moment, the devouring dragon's attack landed on them. Soul Catcher. Wang Xian waved his arm and grabbed one of the emissaries and the prince. But countless information appeared in his mind. Roar. After casting Soul Capture, the dragon claw of the devouring dragon pierced through their corpses. Boom, boom, boom. One by one, the corpses fell to the ground and smashed onto the hearts of everyone from the Iron Blood Alliance. They naturally knew that the blazing flame divine empire was a powerful force from another region. The Iron Blood Alliance had always been trying to curry favor with them. Now that they had been killed by an expert from the Dragon Palace, they didn't take him seriously at all. At this moment, tens of billions of people from the Iron Blood Alliance looked at the figure floating in the sky. Their eyes were filled with respect and complicated feelings. The young master from the central region wants to kill himself. After a long while, Wang Xian, who was floating in the sky, slowly opened his eyes. His eyes were sparkling. He frowned slightly and a pensive look appeared on his face. There was only one person in the central area that he knew, the Queen of the Imperial Star. Is it because of her? Wang Xian mumbled and looked to the side. Aunt Ying and the Queen of the Imperial Star were hiding there. But he swept his gaze across the surroundings and waved his arm. The black hole disturbance formation slowly dissipated. At the same time, a corner of the Dragon Palace appeared behind him. Prime Minister Gui, bring some men over to take care of this place. Wang Xian immediately ordered Prime Minister Gui, who was in the Dragon Palace. It's the Dragon King. Prime Minister Gui's reply was heard immediately. How is this possible? How is this possible? At this moment, a voice filled with shock and horror resounded across the entire sky. Wang Xian looked over with a cold look in his eyes. At this moment, in the distant starry sky, the two level 5 immortal king powerhouses from the Blazing God dynasty were looking over with shocked expressions. Ever since the strange formation enveloped this area, they had a bad premonition. They wanted to rush over and break the formation, but they were completely unable to break through the defense when facing three terrifying creatures. However, it had only been a few minutes. They actually saw the corpses of the experts from the Raging Flame Divine Empire and the experts from the Iron Blood Alliance. What made them especially terrified was that the corpses of the Iron Blood Alliance seemed to have committed suicide. This made their bodies tremble. Get out of this starry sky. It won't be long before my Dragon Palace sets foot on your Raging Flame Divine Empire. Wang Xian looked at the two defending generals of the Raging Flame Empire, his eyes filled with killing intent. Roar, roar, roar. The devouring dragon let out a violent roar and attacked them directly. Including this devouring dragon, there were a total of 4 Immortal King level 5 powerhouses. Oh no, they have another Immortal King level 5 powerhouse. Seeing a devouring dragon of the same level charging over, their hair stood on end. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.